Rounds 3 and 4 of the Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers, presented by Memphis Shades, rolls into the heartland of America. The BRL is back again at Motorsports Park Hastings. All of the teams and riders are ready to go.
Get your Harley racing baggers on the track.
Oh, look at that. Get off.
Hard into the first turn, never looking back. You can't win if you don't get in. Out of the gate like number 8. Living to ride, riding to live. Giving all you got to give. Keeping the pace, I'm finally free. Living to racing, the bagger racing me.
Hello, everyone. I'm Zach Herron coming to you live remotely from Charleston, South Carolina, alongside Hollywood Dave Dildine, located in Anaheim, California, to cover round 3 of the BRL. Dave, I'm so excited for this weekend. Our last 2 rounds, we saw several races coming down to less than a tenth of a second to decide the winner. This one's going to be epic.
Rounds 1 and 2 were some of the best we've ever had in Bagger Racing League, and who can forget Danny Spina coasting across the line in his race? It was fantastic. This week, we should have even better racing. We're looking for some fantastic things. Now, one of the interesting factors is that Ruben Zaus is not going to be here this time because he is racing in the Bagger Racing League first event in Europe. We've even got 6 new baggers coming out for this race here in Hastings.
It's certainly going to be exciting to watch. We know Ruben's doing us proud over at BRL Europe. We're just about ready to drop the green flag and go racing. But first, we're going to get a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll come back to kick off round 3 of the Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers. The BRL theme song is by Billy Morris and Donna Schlatt.
The bagger racing league. Ow!
Bridgestone's reintroducing their Supermoto tires here in the United States and Canada. That's the BMO1 front and the RO2 rear. It's available in a 16.5 inch as well as a 17 inch configuration. Racing Battle Axe is a non-DOT tire, and we definitely recommend tire warmer. Time's the only thing in life that money can't buy, but you can buy Bridgestones.
Hey, it's Cody Gilmore, I'm the 2024 Bagger Racing League Pro Stock Champion. So I want to thank Ultra Cool for keeping our bikes cool and running awesome all year.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to round number 3 of the 2025 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers presented by Memphis Shades. Zach Heron alongside Hollywood Dave Dildine to bring you today's action. And Dave, I am so excited because this was one of my favorite tracks on the 2024 circuit right here at Motorsports Park Hastings.
This is a very technical yet very fast track. It's interesting. It builds in intensity, and if you notice on the map there, when you get to turns 9, 10, 11, and 12, they are setting up for 13, which is where a lot of the action is going to take place. Now, you've got some great passing zones right there. If you see that right before turns 1, before turns 3 and 4, you've got some great speeds. I was getting some texts from some of the riders just in practice. They were doing between $120 and 145 on some of those straightaways. So we should see some fantastic racing throughout the day.
Yeah, without a doubt. Like you said, the top speeds heading turn 3 and 4 really where they're carrying a lot of speed, over 120 miles an hour most laps. Taking a look at some Motorsports Park Hastings track facts, 2.15 miles the total distance for the track. Could not ask for better racing weather, Dave. I know we had a little bit of wind out of Chuckwalla, but things are picture perfect here in Nebraska. 65 degrees, slightly overcast. It is going to be a fantastic day, and we've already had some great performances in qualifying. These riders have had plenty of time out on track, and now, as you can see, the 199 of Danny Spina getting warmed up. They're ready to go racing.
They are, and this track is got 0 degrees of missing. You cannot miss on any of these turns, because if you are, as Clay Braun told me, if you're in the grass, you're on your ass. So it is a very difficult track and great degree of difficulty. So we're going to see how these guys do out there. But yes, you're right. Perfect conditions. We should see some great racing today.
Going to be a great one as we get ready to drop the green flag on race number 1, our DP Brakes Liquid Twins class, our drag specialties Aircooled Twins class, and as well as our drag specialties middleweight Superbike class. Lots of different riders, different bikes as well, all getting ready to go. And here it is, round number 1 officially off and rolling. Right off the grid.
Wow, that was amazing. It just we've got a very full grid, and to see that just happen right off the bat, that's amazing.
Now taking a look, it did look like we had our DP Brakes Liquid Twins class at the front of the grid. We've got the 11 of Drew Jankert and David Lancaster on that 666 machine, and then of course the 199 of Danny Spina, who we saw plenty of at our opening weekend. Here's that top speed section. Look at how fast these bikes are opening up as our riders starting to shuffle into position.
They are all, you notice with the different types of bikes, they're all kind of taking a little bit of a different line. So you've got some of the baggers going a little more outside on some of these turns. Obviously, your Liquid Twins are getting really down into the apex right there.
And you can see a couple of those super bikes moving as well. Looks like that is going to be the 11 of Drew Jankert on that Alloy Art Harley Davidson Pan American leading the way, followed closely by the 199 of Daniel Spina on that National City Harley Davidson and Moto Detail backed ride. We were looking at the battle for third place. As look at this, Hollywood with a leg off the peg and a pass being made up the inside. That might be a couple of our air-cooled riders.
That looked like it, and that was great with the leg off, and that can actually slow you down right before you go into those turns, and that's a very nice technical way of getting around some of these curves right here.
Yeah, beautiful trick of the trade. We've seen Ruben Zaus do that multiple times. That may actually be Jamie Hansen out of that middleweight Superbike class. We know how strong the Superbikes are off the line, kind of slice and dice around those bigger machines. So we'll wait and get a full rundown as they come across the line for the first lap complete.
Really impressive. Look at, there we go, almost a knee down right there. All these guys are just taking a beautiful line through this curve right here. Like I said, there is no room for error on these curves. You do not want to get anywhere near the grass because you will go down immediately. But look at the speeds that they're coming up with right there.
And taking a look as the riders check in for one lap completed is Drew Jankert out front leading the way with Danny Spina in the number 2 spot. Teddy Honan in that number 3 position with Jamie Hansen and Scott Short. Your top 5 behind him, it's Tommy Ryan, Christopher Muck, Brandon Stewart, TC Holiday, and Evan Saley rounding out your top 10. Dave, I tell you what I'm loving is that at least 3 of those names I don't think I've ever said before. We've got a ton of new interest coming into the Bagger Racing League.
That's the most exciting part of this, because so many people are getting involved. It's becoming popular all over the world. As we mentioned, we're doing races in Europe now, but guys are coming out and being a part of this. We've got 6 new baggers that we're going to see today. Never been with the BRL.
And taking a look once again, the 151 of Scott Short trying to find a way around Jamie Hansen just in front of him. Both of these riders doing some great battles here in the BRL in 2024, and they're back to do it once again here in Hastings in 2025 as Jankard going to put another lap in the books out front.
Look at those turns. That apex is a late apex that they just went through, and if you are not in the right position, you're either going to lose some time or you'll end up on the track just crashing. So you don't want to do that.
Yeah, these guys, and you can see they're kind of shuffling back and forth just a little bit. It looked like Short maybe thought he had a pass opportunity, and then he checked up because, like you said, some of these riders, it's unpredictably difficult. It seems easy, and when you're not there right next to a rider, you can think, oh, okay, I can make a pass here, but you've got to really hit your marks because just a little bit too far, a little too late on the brakes could be catastrophic, not only for that corner, but the following 2 to 3 corners as well.
Absolutely, and you've got to set yourself up. So much is going to be happening in turn 13 that you really got to set yourself up. 9 through 12, you've got to be in the right position on the right line, and still watching your competitors, but at the same time, you've got to be on your line for those, or you're going to lose track time.
Taking a look on screen right now is Drew Jankard on the number 11 ride out front, and he's stretched a couple more bike lanes over the 199 of Danny Spina, who had an incredible opening weekend. So Jankard really making a statement right off the rip here at round 3. 7 laps here for race number 1 there for the DP Brakes Liquid Twins, as well as both of those drag specialties, Aircooled Twins, and see what our Superbike class that was out there as well, our middleweight Superbike class. So we've got, like you said, a lot of riders battling not only for position physically on track, but for their specific class as well.
And Drew just posted a 132, so he is actually picking up speed as he goes along and gets a little bit further out from Daniel Spina. Look at him right there,
man, on track. Yeah. And that just kind of like you said, you know that a rider is really starting to find their groove and feel comfortable when they're dropping times middle through the race. He was already starting to pull out just a little bit, running those 133s, but able to drop it down to almost a second faster than Danny Spina on his best lap. Drew definitely starting to jive with this MPH course.
Yeah, he absolutely is. You can tell he's feeling it. He's got his lines down, and he's hitting them perfectly each and every time. He's got this track figured out.
Meanwhile, can't count out Danny Spina, not taking any unnecessary risks. We joked, or not joked at, but joked with Danny Spina about him coasting across the line in our opening weekend, and he was able to take that with a positive spin on it. Didn't have any negative things to say about it, but man, it really seems like he's carrying some positive momentum and some positive backspin as well coming into this second doubleheader weekend.
Danny Spina is one of the most positive people you'll ever meet, and so even in difficulty, he laughed about it and came back the next day and did really, really well. So we're going to see a lot from him, and you can never count him out. Whether his bike is right
hang
or
on
not.
to it. Did you see that? Our leader getting
Yes.
slideways, Drew Jankard, hang on to it. He almost went for a ride. I thought he was going to get kicked back in high side over that machine. What a save. Heart rate, I'm sure, probably jumped up about 30 beats right there, as now Danny Spina going to be able to close that gap up just a little bit.
Little bit, and almost looked like he's starting to lose a little grip on those tires, because I saw him kind of wiggle through one of the other turns before that one. So he's trying to keep on that bike and still get those lines. He's feeling Danny right behind him.
Yeah, definitely think Drew is feeling the pressure of Spina back there, catching a glimpse of him in a couple of these corners. I'm sure he knows he's not too far out front, and if he's starting to make little mistakes here and there, we've seen this as well. It almost turns into quicksand. One mistake turns into 2, turns into 4. Next thing you know, your competition's right on your rear wheel. So for your leader out front, Jankard, got to hit the reset button, take a deep breath, and try to go back to where he was at the start of this race.
It is that racer's mentality, and you just want to go as fast as you can, but you're always aware of that person coming up on you. And sometimes it can get in your head and you can make a mistake. Seen some great, look at those, how far down they're going on those. That is just amazing. Taking at those speeds, getting those kind of lean angles is pretty incredible.
I believe this is that Scott Short, Jamie Hansen battle. Looks like they've got Teddy Honan just in front of them as well. So the top 5 all battling for that final spot inside the top 3 as they put another lap in the books. Once again, like we said, 7 laps here for this opening race as Jankard, now Spina less than a second behind Jankard for the lead in that opener. And then look at how close the battles are between Honan. Muck is actually making some moves. So I think we might have thought that was a different rider. I thought it was Scott Short, but it's actually Christopher Muck who is making some moves forward and now jumps into the 4th place spot.
Great racing right there. I noticed that Drew Jankard is about 4 seconds slower than his best time, so he's losing a little bit, and of course Danny Spina's right on his tail, coming up on him. Look at that. There's a battle right there.
And I think this is once again Hansen and Short, but now instead of battling for the 4th place spot, they're battling for 5th as Christopher Muck has gone by both of them. But these guys stuck to each other like Velcro. They can't seem to get apart.
No, they're watching each other's lines. They're taking a little bit different line, but they're trying to figure out which one is the faster line. And he's coming up on the inside, now on the outside. And wow, look at that. Chris coming right around him. He just cut him off right there.
Yep, Hansen slams the door. Exactly. And now look at this, Scott Short once again going back to work, doing a good job of not following though. He's peeking to the insides, peeking to the outsides. We know how tricky this turn 13 is they're getting a drive forward. Yellow flag waiting, so it might be a rider down up ahead.
Yeah, we don't see that yet, but it's on this track. I wouldn't be surprised. It's the speeds they're going and some of the technical aspects of this track. It can take somebody down really quickly if you're not paying attention.
So one rider with a hand up in the air, not sure what that was either. As wouldn't be surprised if your leader's starting to work their way through possibly some lap traffic as well as this race continues to wear on.
Yeah, Drew Jankford just actually posted again another 132, so he's picked up the pace again. So he's doing really well out there in the front. Here we got this battle for 5th going on with Jamie Hansen and Christopher Muck. Boy, they are just battling through this entire race. Oh, here we go almost on the inside.
Seems like, believe that is Short who's got a couple of those hot spots. As this is another Superbike battle as well. This, I believe, is the leader making his way across the line. And that wasn't a yellow flag. That must have been a white flag coming out, as it is now checkers for the number 11 of Drew Jankard. Going to grab the win out of that DP Brakes Liquid Twins class. What an impressive performance. Having a couple of close calls, but not letting it phase him too much. Drops back down to the 132s and hangs on to the win over Danny Spina in the number 2 spot. And looks like that might be Christopher Muck bringing home a 3rd place ride. Absolutely phenomenal job from the 696, charging from the back and getting up on that final podium spot.
Just a beautiful ride, clean ride, not any issues, and just performed extremely well on this beautiful track. So that's we've got Teddy Honan, looks like took 4th, and Scott Short right there in 5th. Great rides.
Some exciting stuff to kick off the 3rd round of racing here for the 2025 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers. And as if that isn't exciting enough, Dave, we get to talk to our riders after each one of our races. So we're going to have a podium celebration coming up quick. But before we get to that, we're going to take a look at our Alpine Stars race replay, kicking off round number 3 and some close battles. That's going to be the theme of the 2025 season, Dave, it seems like. Close battles here at the BRL.
Exactly. And We've seen that at Chuckwalla, and now we're seeing it here in Hastings. Just complete battles all the way through the race. It's not just one turn or two, it is throughout the entire race. We're seeing so many riders that are equal in talent and speed, and it is who wants it the most. And we're seeing that quite a bit this year with the BRL.
Well, right now it was the number 11 of Drew Jankard who wanted it the most, grabbing the win on that alloy arc back machine. Danny Spina on the National City Harley-Davidson Moto Detail ride going to cross the line in the number 2 spot. Christopher Muck on the Motorcycle Supply Racing crosses the line in 3rd place spot. Shout out to Teddy Honan, who was holding on to that 3rd place spot for quite a while. Just missed out on that top 3, but what an impressive way to start off round 3 here at BRL.
Beautiful racing. You can see there's just a slight breeze out there. These are perfect conditions, so we're going to see some amazing racing throughout this day.
All right, well, we're going to get ready to set things up on the podium and talk to our top 3 riders. But before we get to that, we're going to get a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll be back to the Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers presented by Memphis Shades. And a special thank you to Newcastle Harley-Davidson, who's bringing you this live broadcast.
So, any noise in the office is going. Like they're going through the just FYI.
Bridgestone's reintroducing their Supermoto tires here in the United States and Canada. That's the BMO1 front and the RO2 rear. It's available in a 16.5 inch as well as a 17-inch configuration. Battle Axe is a non-DOT tire, and we definitely recommend tire warmer. Time's the only thing in life that money can't buy, but you can buy Bridgestones.
Hey, it's Cody Gilmore out of 2024 Beggar Racing League Pro Stock Champion. So I want to thank Ultra Cool for keeping our bikes cool and running awesome all year.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to round 3 of the 2025 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers presented by Memphis Shades. We've got our riders set up on the podium. Let's send things down to the third member of our team, Rob Bitus.
Thanks a lot, Zach. I know that the race fans here are excited. That was our first race of the weekend, and what a race weekend it was. Legendary rider had finished in the number 3 spot in the DP Brakes Liquid Twins class on the 666. David Lancaster, nice ride, my friend.
Thank you, thank you. These guys are so fast. They're good.
You know, you come to this event, and we saw you out in California. You decided, you know what, we're coming to Hastings, Nebraska for Memorial Day weekend. What a way to spend a great weekend.
Short drive. Just get in the truck and go.
Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
I do. Heathen Nation, Lucifer's Garage, DP Brakes are sponsoring our class. Dunlop, Quaid, Racer's Edge, Eyes Up Motorsports, Main Street Moto, Anthony's Leatherworks, Just One Helmets, Alpine Stars, and my family. And the girl that sang the national anthem last round graduated Wednesday. So special congrats to her.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. Presenting the award, we have Larry oh, wait, the mayor's going to do it. We got the mayor of Hastings, Nebraska, handing out the Harway, Jay Beckby over here. Jay, step in here real quick. Let's get a quick word with you. Now, this is the DP Brakes Liquid Twins class, and Larry Mills is heading to his family's, it's his anniversary. So we had the mayor of Hastings come out. First of all, thanks for having us to this great city.
Well, thank you. All I can say is, wow, it makes me want to go out and buy a really fast motorcycle today.
Well, we love hearing that. The town has rolled out the red carpet for us. The facility here is top-notch, and we couldn't be happier to be here. Thank you so much for having such a great community.
Well, we couldn't be happier to have you all here. This is a great event, and I look forward to coming out here all summer, and I hope everybody comes out and supports, because this is one heck of an event going on out here.
Well, Mayor Jay Beckby, you're not done yet. Let's slide over here to Danny Spina. I'm going to have to watch myself on those things right there. Danny, the race is going on, and then all of a sudden you start to make a charge in there.
Yeah, so, you know, all of a sudden I was like, you know what, my guy over here, he's pulling too much away, so I ended up having to put a little bit more gas. Luckily enough, I mean, for me, he had a bit of a moment, so I was able to close the gap a little bit. Ran into some lap traffic, couldn't make it happen, and just put it in cruise control. Had a little bit of chatter in my front end in turn 1, and just decided to ride a safe ride, collect the points, you know, and just have a nice, safe finish. Didn't want to give my mechanic Deacon any more work today.
Well, congratulations. I know that you have quite a long list of sponsors. You got folks looking back at the Harley dealership as well.
Yeah, that's correct. So, you know, first and foremost, I want to thank my family for always standing behind me and pushing me. I'd like to thank National City Harley-Davidson for putting forth such a huge effort to bring everybody out, bring all the bikes out and get them prepped. Excellence Mobile Detail, Fueling Motorsport, or Fueling Parts, Motool, Racer's Edge Dunlop, Attorney Kings, Bamco, Shifter Crew. All the guys, they really made it happen. I mean, I can literally just show up and just check out and just be ready to race. It's a phenomenal feeling, and I couldn't do it without everybody.
Well, congratulations, Mayor. We've got the second place award here for Danny Spina. Congratulations. We got one more award to hand out over here, and it's our race winner in the DP Brakes Liquid Twins class on the Alloy Art bike. It's the number 11 of Drew. I want to make sure I say it right. Drancord.
No, Jankard.
Jankard. Okay, my bad. I apologize for that. You kind of came into this as a fill-in rider. I don't think anybody thought that you're going to get a fill-in rider and he's going to come out on the top step.
Yeah, no, I got a call from some friends, Rory over at Bridgestone, and he made the connection with Robbie at Alloy Art and put me in a spot where we could come out here and do this. So I'm really grateful to Rory at Bridgestone and Robbie and his crew. Justin and Phil have been working really hard, making sure that I'm comfortable on the bike, doing everything that's necessary, and they're getting after it and doing a great job. So Robbie put together a great team, and these bikes are awesome, and I can't sing enough praises of those guys. The weather turned out really great today. During the race, got off to a good start, had a bit of a moment, and lost some ground. The guys kind of signaled me that my lead had diminished, so I just tried to put my head down and do some clean laps, and and was able to bring it home and get the win. So that was good. I'm glad that I could do that for Robbie and the guys.
Well, you did a great job out there. Obviously, the folks at Bridgestone, DP Brakes, and of course the Alloy Art crew really gave you a hot rod out there.
Yeah, that bike is it needed almost no changes for me to get immediately comfortable on it. It's a hot rod for sure. So they prepare an excellent motorcycle, and I feel very fortunate to be able to ride it for them. So that Harley is something that, you know, I probably underestimated before I got here, but after riding it, I have total respect for it, and I actually really enjoy riding it.
Well, I'll tell you what, the mayor's got an award for you today. This is the top 3 in the DP Brakes Liquid Twins class. Gentlemen, hop up on that podium right there. Let's get these group shots. And gang, we're going to throw it back to the crew back there as we get ready to reset the podium.
All right, thanks, Rob. Great stuff going down there at the podium. The DP Brakes Liquid Twins class, and always so cool to hear the riders' perspective. Here's what they had to go through in those races, even when it's stuff that we couldn't pick up on here at home or live on Racer TV. Hey, a cool feature that we've got to hear this weekend in Nebraska is the Motor Maidens, which is a pretty unique group that we got to learn a little bit more about, and we want to teach you guys a thing or two about them as well. We were able to catch up with the Motor Maidens earlier this weekend.
Hey, Rob Bitus from the BRL. Now, sometimes in life, you got to have a good friend like Terry Reimer, and Terry Reimer calls me and said, hey, Ann Hovdenis from the Motor Maids wants to come out to Hastings, and you brought the crew with you.
Well, yeah, so last fall he posted about your event, and I'm like, Terry, tell me more. He said, let me introduce you to my friend Rob. And so we worked through it, and through the winter, talking with you, we had a plan, and I said, you know, Motor Maids like to present the flags. And he said, come on down. And so we're all here to present the flags for the race today and tomorrow and watch some great racing. I'm very excited about bagger racing.
You talk about presenting the flags, but you guys are presenting motorcycles in a positive light for maybe longer than any motorcycle organization out there, especially for the ladies.
Founded in 1940 by 51 charter members, sanctioned by AMA, and yeah, we're the oldest continuously operating women's motorcycle group in North America, US and Canada, over 1,100 members, active riding members.
And when you say active riding, you guys don't trailer to these events. You guys don't come in a big trailer. You rode here. I don't care if it's snow, sleet, hail, rain. You guys continue to soldier on, setting a great example for not only women, but all motorcyclists. And you guys are some of the best looking people here with these uniforms on.
White vests and white gloves. I didn't put my gloves on, but the ladies have them back there. So yeah, it's we want people to know that women in motorcycling can be accomplished and represent women in a positive light.
Empowering women and riders all around the world. The Motor Maids are in the house. Make sure you guys stay tuned, because coming up later, they'll be presenting the colors during our opening ceremonies.
Great stuff there from Rob Bitus and the Motor Maids. Hey, looks like Rob's standing by and ready with our drag specialties, Aircooled Twins Podium.
Thanks a lot, Zach. We're down here on the podium. Alex Dara, 3rd place. You came out, I know you've done some hooligan racing, you've done some different things, but this road racing thing really seems to be something you're taking to pretty quickly.
Oh, dude, I love it. This is a whole new discipline, a whole new, just everything's different but the same. You know, same kind of bikes, but the geometry's all different. The way you have to have your body's different, and it's just really fun to learn it.
You know, you're learning the track out there, and it's a family affair for you.
Yeah. My dad beat me today, unfortunately, but you know, that happens. I think I'm still winning in points, so that's all that really matters. But yeah, you know, it's fun coming out, hanging out with my family, and doing something that we all love.
Well, we certainly want to congratulate you on a great ride. Any sponsors you want to recognize?
Frankie Dean Racing and FDR Foundation, Shark Law, Claiborne, Fab Shop, Speed Kings, Till Death, Runlet Moto, RPM Moto just kills it with these bikes, always has us running great and making sure we're ready to be out on the track. So,
well, congratulations. We got the mayor presenting you with an award. Let's slide on over here as we talk to the elder member of the Dara family. Congratulations. Now, there's a lot of pecking orders. I know when I was growing up, my dad could strike me out baseball till I was about 12. He was a little bit quicker than me till I was about 9 or 10. You're a couple days older than him, and you're still bringing the heat.
That's right. They have to look up.
Now, when you came out here, I know that you come out here, you'll be sitting around the summertime, 4th of July, probably tuning into the broadcast again to show the family how it goes down.
For sure. Yes, they'll probably be watching right now because I wasn't supposed to be racing. I was supposed to come and support.
This is support right here. You're supporting the second step on the podium. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
There he is. First, all the glory goes to God. My family, sons, everything. Heathen Dave for getting me in it. Alpha Emergency Systems, Firm Foundation Masonry, Frank at Pirelli, Larry at DP Brakes, and everybody that went before me to make this what it is. It's a good thing. You're doing a good job, man.
Thank you very much, folks. How about a nice round of applause for Douglas Dara? Last year and champion. Back on the top step again. How about a nice round of applause for Mr. Jake McGuire? Nice work out there. I know that you're really pretty busy this weekend with the bagger and this, but that was a fine ride.
Yeah, it wasn't expected at all. Had a pretty decent little spill yesterday. I'm sore as hell still, but thanks to the excitement at the beginning of that race, it all worked out.
Adrenaline's a powerful drug, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll feel great here in about 10 minutes, but I'm good for now.
Well, picking up the win and obviously continuing to represent the #1 plate you won a year ago, who would you like to give a shout out to?
Grim Reaper's MC, Harley Davidson Bowling Green, RC Components, G Brakes, Fastline Track Days, all of y'all for putting this on. Rory over at Bridgestone for help with tires. Everybody. Tucker Speeds helped me out this weekend. I love coming here. Had a great time.
Well, congratulations. The mayor has some hardware for you as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to give him a nice round of applause as they step up on the podium up here and they get ready to celebrate the Aircooled Twins podium here, BRL stop number 3.
Great stuff down there on the podium. Thanks, Rob. As we get ready to set up for our next podium, we're going to toss things down to Bill Kazar, who we were able to catch up with from Motorcycle Supply.
Hey, this is Rob Bitus from the Bagger Racing League, and we're out here in Hastings, Nebraska. One of my good friends, Bill Kazar, has been with us since the first time we've ever came here. Not only is he a racer, not only is he a supporter, but you're a motorcycle shop owner as well. What has racing done for your dealership? People come in, they got to be looking for parts, accessories, everything.
All of the above, all of the above. We've always been big proponents and supporters of not just motorcycling in general, but racing. It brings people camaraderie, joy, competition, creativity, but yes, they definitely come in to get their supplies, hence our name, Motorcycle Supply, and get their stuff taken care of. We enjoy it a lot.
You know, there's so many dealers around the country, and we travel from California all the way back to Mid-Ohio and places. If you were a dealer in one of those regions, would you recommend they come out, set up, and just kind of meet the folks out there and see what it can do for their dealer?
I recommend all dealerships support the sport in every single way. And that's one of the things I like about, be cheesy here, about Drag Specialties and Parts Limited is one of their taglines is we support the sport. And they've been my distributors and my primary suppliers for literally decades. And I like dealerships. I like everything about the industry to support it all. We have to support each other, and it's a wonderful thing.
I tell you what, the support we get here, we can feel the love. Thank you very much for coming out and being part of this weekend.
Anytime, always, anytime. Thanks, Rob.
All right, great stuff. Well, hey, let's get ready as we set up for our middleweight Superbike podium, and looks like we've got Rob Bitus standing by once again.
Well, these guys are down here getting the helmets, the bikes all lined up. Let's move right over to our number 3 spot. Middleweight Superbike, our first time to see these sport bikes on the track, and it's our buddy, the 151 of Scott Short. Congratulations on an incredible performance out there.
That was a fun one. I did not expect to make the podium, being underpowered in that class, but to have 2 400s up here, that just makes it a blast.
You know, being at this event like that, and there's a lot of friends and family that made the trip out here. I know that you guys ride out here quite a bit. Is this track got some special spots out there?
Oh, yeah, there's some tricky spots that we kind of know the tricks to, and definitely set that up in that last lap, and that made it a whole lot of fun to pass an SB. It was a good race. It was a super fun race.
Well, congratulations. How about giving a shout out to the sponsors that helped you get here?
First off, Rory, again, sexiest tire man alive. Motorcycle Supply, look at how red he's turning. If the camera guy could get that, he's as red as a coat. Motorcycle Supply, always bailing us out, helping us out with as much as he can. And then everybody that lets me paint their bikes.
that's what supports this sport. So it's super fun.
Well, congratulations. You got a beautiful bike there. The mayor has an award for you here. 3rd place on the podium. Let's slide over here next. As we get ready to go, and he rode the number 6 machine. This is Teddy Honan. Nice job out there.
Thank you.
You got the motorcycle supply hat on, so Bill Kazar had a little something to do with getting you here.
Oh, definitely. He's definitely been my mentor for like the last 13 years, and he's a great guy. Love the track, love the organization. Everything's great.
He promised me that he was going to bring a bunch of folks out here, and he certainly lived up to it. Thanks so much for coming out. Who you want to give a shout out to?
I'd love to give a shout out to my wife and my kid over there, Mr. Bill Kazar, of course, Scott Short with Leroy Enterprises, and this guy, Chris Muck.
That's a nice lineup. Bridgestone, of course.
Thank you, yes.
Well, Mayor, you got some awards for this guy as well. Jay Beckby hooking it up over there, the Honorable Mayor. We slide over to the center of the podium, and that's where everybody wants to end up over here. It's Christopher Muck. Put some fast lap times in there. It looks like you were really turning up the heat out there.
Yeah, I was trying to. We had a little bit of a spill in front of us, kind of set up a fun race to catch up with. I wasn't expecting to get all the way up to the top step, but, it's super fun. We had to do a little shaking and baking, get through the pack. Had to get through these guys on little bikes, and that's a hard thing to do. You'll see a lot of motorcycle supply guys out here running hot laps on little bikes, so it's fun to sit up here and be a part of all this. Yeah, it's a super fun race.
Well, it's certainly fun to have you up here, and just like we like to do for everybody, who would you like to recognize for helping you get here?
Well, we could throw Bill Kazar in there with Motorcycle Supply. Leroy here at Enterprises, he paints all our bikes. You'll see a lot of shiny, pretty things out there today. Rory with Bridgestone, he's, sexiest man alive. You're going to hear that a lot this weekend. And then Bang Bros Racing, of course. My boy Dalton back at home watching. And, just having a great time.
Well, congratulations. The mayor has some hardware for you as well. Folks, that's just about going to wrap up our first moto of the our first race of the weekend. When we come back, we'll have the grid filled up again as we get ready to go racing and keep the action packed here from BRL stop number 3.
All right, thanks, Rob. Exciting stuff. Well, hey, before we get the grid set up for our next race, we were able to catch up with one of our favorite folks here at BRL. I'm talking Chris Olin from Rocks Racing and CF Moto. Let's see what Chris has to say and what's going on here in Nebraska.
Hey, this is Rob Bitus from the BRL, and we stopped over at the Rocks display. Now, the last time we talked to him, it was all about the ergonomics and how to personalize it for you, the rider. But the gang at CF Moto kind of gave you a task. They said, hey, what can you do with one of our bikes as far as the bagger world? And my friend, you went above and beyond.
Yeah, it turned out really amazing. It's basically 800 NK, kind of a naked street bike, and we completely converted it into one of the BRL style bikes. And it's getting a lot of attention this weekend. People are coming over and saying, what is that? And we're pretty excited about how it turned out.
I heard through the grapevine that CF Moto themselves showed up at an event and were completely blown away by what you had created.
Yeah, when they walked up and looked at it at first, they kind of were doing double takes on like, is that one of our bikes? Is that the 800 NK? And we were like, that's it. Really turned out good.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see one of these in the near future. One more thing. Rumor is we may even see this thing in a practice session a little bit later today.
Yeah, we're hoping to get it out, stretch its legs a little bit, get somebody out there to get some nice marketing photos with it. So we're pretty excited.
Well, the gang at Rocks has been part of the BRL this year, and we couldn't be happier to have them join us. When you see this bike in action on the track, or who knows, maybe in a dealership, say we heard about that first on the BRL coverage.
All right, great stuff there from Rob and Chris over at Rocks Racing and CF Moto. And now, Dave, we got told this just a little bit ago. I'm sure the folks at home don't know yet, but things went so well in that practice session that we're going to see Cody Gilmore on that CF Moto ride coming up in our next race.
Can't wait to see that. That's going to be fantastic. I mean, somebody who just came to try out the track, and yet he's going to be on the race. That is fantastic. Looking forward to seeing how he does.
Running through our entry list here for this next race, taking a look now at our next generation Superbike class. Craig Bailey, Jamie Hansen, Bill Kazar, James Milroy Jr., and Paul Stamper are going to be going out on the track as well. And then, of course, that Zippers Performance Products ATU class, Craig Braymiller, Philip Doty, Emilio Jimenez, Jason Owens, Carl Schlack, and Tony Tucker all going to be taken to the track as well. Love to see how full of a grid that we've got here for round 3.
And the interesting part of this grid is the fact that we've got everything from road glides, we've got soft tails, we've got street glides, along with some Ducati Monsters, Kawasaki's, Yamahas. Everything's going to be on the grid, and it's going to be able to see how everybody has to run a different race according to the type of bike that they're on. It'll be exciting to see them side by side.
It's going to be fun to watch, like you said. So many little differences that make up the difference between a win and being off the podium. We're just about ready to drop the green flag. We're going to get a quick commercial break, and we'll come back to race 2 from round number 3 of the 2025 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers, presented by Memphis Shades. We'll be right back.
It is the day of the specialist. Experts in a class conscious of every nuance. Focus rules. Our specialty is wheels, and wheels only. We respectfully carry the wheelwright legacy into our eccentric world by improving the rides of motorcycles and riders globally. We are proud wheelwrights, nothing more. We are Ride Right. Simple, solid, boundless.
Harley M8 racers win with Burn Stainless. Their no-holds-barred exhaust systems are built for one thing: power. With smooth inlets and stepped pipes engineered to keep exhaust velocity high, they squeeze every ounce of torque out of your motor. Their iconic 2-into-1 collector feeds into a reverse cone megaphone for that signature growl and performance edge. Drag strip or road course, Burn Stainless delivers. Get yours at burnstainless.com.
I'm Shane Narbone. I'm here with Trash Performance, 3-time Bagger GP champion, and I run Aircooled.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to round number 3 of the 2025 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers, presented by Memphis Shades. And once again, a special thank you to Newcastle Harley-Davidson for bringing you this live coverage on RacerTV.com. Zach Herron and Hollywood Dave Dildine standing by as, Dave, we get ready to kick off the Zippers Performance Products ATU class, as well as our Drag Specialties Next Generation Superbike, as well as that Drag Specialties Lightweight Superbike. Some of my favorite classes that we have in store.
Can't wait to see the difference in the riding styles of these various types of bikes that are going to be on the track. As I said, we've got road glides, we've got street glides, we've even got a soft tail that's going to be out there alongside Ducati Monsters, Kawasaki's. It's going to be great to see, especially how they both set up differently for turn 13, which, as we know, is the most technical part of this track.
Yeah, that seems to be where the race is won or lost. And how cool is this that we've got our very own mayor, Jay Beckley, in the house with us, presenting the trophies to all of our racers. We talked about the support that Bagger Racing League has gotten from the racing community, but man, Hastings, Nebraska stepping up, and the mayor himself, Jay Beckley, hanging out with us this weekend.
You know, this has been a grassroots movement, and it is so exciting to see how many people are getting involved with it. We've got it's obviously a family organization where you've got dads racing sons, you've got mayors coming out giving out. It's been grassroots from the very beginning, and it's great to see how many people are getting involved with Bagger Racing League all around the world.
Well, I tell you who is getting more involved is Cody Gilmore, who we just saw rolling by on the number 25 machine. We just caught up with that CF Moto group and talked a little bit about the bike. Said, oh, maybe you'll see it out there for a practice session. There you're seeing it on screen right now. Practice went so well that Cody Gilmore and the entire CF Moto crew was like, you know what? I'd like to see this thing do some battle. I can't wait to see what Gilmore's able to do in this race.
That's what's so exciting about Bagger Racing League. Like, you may come and just think you're just going to do a little track time, find yourself in an actual race. It's good to see this. This is great for our sport.
So here we go, just about ready to drop the green flag and go racing. As we are off the roll, green flag. Already look at some passes being made. Some bikes, like you said, such a wide variety. Some bikes so quick off the draw. Others really going to take a second to get up to speed, but once they get rolling, they're hard to get stopped.
Yeah, and you're going to see a big difference on how they both react to the long straightaways that we've got. So you're going to have some of those baggers are really going to show the horsepower that they've got. But when you get into the curves like they're in right now, you're going to see these sport bikes kind of taking over.
And well, no surprise, we did see a great start from Carl Schlack on that number 8. Hog catchers ride back, and taking a look now, trying to see who that was sliding up the inside. That might have been Tony Tucker, now moving into the number 3 spot, and that's who it was. It was Cody Gilmore. So Gilmore already starting to make some moves. We'll get a full rundown as they cross the stripe for 1 lap complete. But impressive performance. Look at this.
Wow, bar to bar right there. And he passes on the outside. Look at that. That is amazing racing right there. These guys are so close. And when you're doing that at 120 miles an hour, it is very tricky. These guys are really professional.
And catching a glimpse, that is the 61 of James Milroy Jr. out front, leading the way out of our next-gen Superbike class. So next-gen starting things off strong, and Milroy picking up at the front of the field, getting super low in that corner, but he has got some company.
Yes, he does. He's coming, wow, right there. Look at that pass, almost a pass. Oh, he slammed the door on him.
And so Craig Bailey in that number 2 spot trying to make a move. And then it is Tony Tucker checking in the number 3 spot. Gilmore makes the pass for the 4th place position with Carl Schlack and Jamie Hansen, your top 6 as they check in.
Now look at that. James Milroy is actually turning a 139 on this track, which is very, very fast. Oh, we got just out there in the little chicken strips.
Yeah,
that's a dangerous place to be.
It looks like he did have to shut off just a little bit and lost that lead. So now Craig Bailey going to take over the number 1 spot, and James Milroy going to have to go back to work. Milroy out there on that Milroy Racing back Kawasaki. And then the 381 ride, as you see on screen, out front leading the way. And it looked like there might have been some shuffling back there in the 3rd place spot as well between Tony Tucker and Cody Gilmore.
Yeah, I think they've got a great battle going on. Tony's going to try to slam the door on him as well. But on screen, we've got that battle right there. James Milroy and Craig Bailey just fighting it out. Craig's trying to get back in position to hit him in one of these curves.
So
boy, look at
11 and 12, and then this is lucky 13 right here. That real late apex. One of those corners you got to be patient with, and that's so hard to do when you're under pressure from another rider. Things start to happen in a hurry. Every millisecond feels like forever, and you start rushing just a little bit. So Craig Bailey doing a great job of staying calm under pressure as he's opened things up just a little bit now on James Milroy Jr.
Riding his own race and looking really smooth through some of these curves. We've had noticed James Milroy has taken some of these apexes a little fast and kind of gone to the outside to keep his balance. So we're looking at Craig's turning now a 135. So he's picking up speed as he gets to know this track a bit better. Great times on those.
As we shuffle back just a little further in the pack, we did see Tony Tucker still leads Cody Gilmore in that for that number 3 spot, I should say, and then for the lead in that Zippers Performance Products ATU class. So there you see blue and day glow yellow almost. Tony Tucker, we caught up with him on opening weekend. We miss him here in the booth, but man, it's great to see him back out on track, and he's doing some serious battle with Cody Gilmore as we've got another Superbike battle on track as well.
Yes, they're looking really strong right there. These Superbikes are just perfect for this track, and they're doing an amazing job of some of these battles. They're actually catching up to some of the leaders right here. You're going to see a nice lead pack.
Look at this. Gilmore made the pass on Tucker right there. And that's Jamie Hansen back out on track again, just behind them. So Hansen getting in the mix with the big bad baggers as Cody Gilmore gets around Tony Tucker for the lead in that ATU class.
Just amazing. You've got so many different types of bikes out there, different types of styles. You've got to ride your own race. And you can't be worried about Tony's raising his hand for, he's got a problem.
Man, not what we needed for the Tucker Speed rider of Tony Tucker. Doing a good job of letting the riders behind him know there was a problem with the machine. These guys increase speed so quickly. Things, if a rider starts coming to a halt in front of you, sometimes it's too quick for you to even realize. So good job from Tony communicating with the other riders. We hate to see it, but that is going to give Cody Gilmore a little bit of breathing room now in the third place spot out front of his class.
Absolutely, that's responsible racing right there to make sure you let everybody else know, because we don't want to have any crashes. Now we're here at the halfway point. We've got a battle going on right here. It's so great to see. We've got a bagger being hunted by a sport bike. That's cool to see. You don't see that anywhere else.
Exactly. I was about to say, this is what kind of encaptures all that BRL comes to offer, is the different kinds of bikes, the different styles of riding that can all compete with one another. And so Hansen doing a great job of applying the pressure to Gilmore, but man, Gilmore seems right at home on this CF Moto machine. I mean, it's no surprise. If this is how practice went, yeah, I'd probably line up for the race too. He's out there winning.
Absolutely. You know, we saw that last time with Frankie Garcia was on the Bike for Lifestyle Cycles and had just gone out to practice and decided, hey, this thing's dialed in. Let's see what it does on the track. And had a great race last rounds 2. It's amazing.
So
look at him out there. Nice. Slamming the door.
And then that's Tommy Ryan just behind Hansen on the 611. So starting to turn into a 3-rider battle, 3, 4, and 5 on the track. Look at this, the drag race begins down the back stretch. Great camera shots here from the AG Video and Racer TV crew. As Gilmore once again able to just stretch things out and close that door. Hansen looking left, looking right. Let's see, he's going to try to run up the inside a little bit more on this one. Use the lightness of the bike still. Door slam. Gilmore holds on to the spot.
What an impressive turn that was. And you're looking at a guy who's got a 200 to 300 pound heavier bike than these sport bikes. And it's amazing that he's got that kind of control in these turns.
Well, and Gilmore is a racer at its best. I mean, you know, former pro motocross, supercross racer, former champion here in the BRL as well. Jumped up to the Bagger GP class this year, and really just seems like he has kind of taken to learning this sport with BRL, learning the way the bikes react and maneuver. Carl Schlacht, another rider that was a former off-road racer that has jumped to the BRL, and that's what they both say is you have to learn to ride the motorcycle differently. And so Cody really starting to adjust well and seems right at home on this CF Moto ride in your ATU class, as putting another lap in the book. Shouldn't be long before we see a white flag waving. These 3 have been stuck in line pretty much for the last 2 laps.
You know, and that's what's so amazing about the BRL, because we've got so many riders that are coming from different disciplines that are all finding a home right here at Bagger Racing League. It's incredible to see that.
Oh, look at this. Gilmore. Looks like Hansen was able to get around him. Can Gilmore respond? Meanwhile, Tommy Ryan's trying to get in the mix too. Look at this. Here comes the 611.
What a great battle. Yeah, he's putting some distance right there. Oh, and there's the pass on the inside.
Great shot from our live drone. Shows you the difference in line selection and then the speed that the 611 is able to carry into those corners. That's one thing. Those baggers, they may get rolling and they may go fast, but they are extremely difficult to get stopped and turned. So Gilmore doing a great job, but you can almost immediately see these sport bikes start to open up just a little bit of distance on Gilmore.
you have to brake hard right before a lot of these. And you're right, those baggers, they're carrying a lot of momentum, especially when you hit 120, 145. We've got an issue here on the track.
Yep, looks like another rider giving the wave. Looks to be still cruising around, so maybe just a small issue, but does sound like the white flag is coming out at the front of the field. So Craig Bailey and James Milroy Jr. already taking the white. Meanwhile, look at the pushing going on as Gilmore takes a little look back over. Could that have been a problem for Hansen? Still on the gas, charging down that front straight, but it looked like he almost gave that spot back to Cody Gilmore.
It really did. He suddenly slowed down a little bit and seemed to have some kind of an issue, but we're not sure what that is yet. But he's still in the hunt, trying to position himself there right behind Cody Gilmore.
The final lap of racing here for the Zipper Performance Products American Twins Unlimited class, as well as our drag specialties next generation and lightweight superbike classes. Oh man, you're using every inch of that track there, Dave. That was close.
That was close, and that gets really squirrely when you get out into that. And if you even touch the grass, you're going down. So you got to be really careful. That's somebody trying to catch up. He's letting it all hang out here in the last lap.
Well, letting it all hang out and only got to do it for about one more turn is Craig Bailey. Here he is in lucky turn 13. He's got the checkered flag in sight, a number one in the air, and it will be the 381 of Craig Bailey grabbing the win. And what an impressive performance. A smooth ride, took his time getting around, and made that pass on James Milroy and was smooth sailing from there.
Just a beautiful race. Well done. And just, again, so exciting to see baggers on the track with sport bikes, seeing who really is the fastest around this track. And we've got some great times. Craig Bailey had a best time of 134 going around this track, which is very, very fast. We've got James Milroy at a 135. So everybody has been really, really close in this race.
Yeah, similar speeds there at the top, and I mean, I believe that was a lot of what we saw in our first race as well. Some 134s. I believe they had a couple of 133s as well. So that pace right around that low to mid 130 seems to be what it's going to take to be at the top. Definitely some close racing, and this is what we love to see. Weather doesn't come into play. It is all just mano-a-mano, rider versus rider out there on the track.
Yes, and amazing that we had, even Cody Gilmore did a 139 for his best lap, and that's on a bike that he is just getting to know. Man, very impressive.
Absolutely. Well, let's take a look here at our race replay, show you exactly how things went down for this ATU Next Gen and Lightweight Superbike class, race number 2. Take a look at that drone footage. It was a great start. Everybody getting off smooth. Some shuffling of positions. Once again, Carl Schlacht on that Speed Farm HHI back ride. Incredible off the start. This guy's got some kind of secret formula. Meanwhile, some shuffling of positions between the Superbikes and our baggers. Tony Tucker was having a solid ride till a bike issue forced him out of this, and that was going to give Cody Gilmore, who had just made the pass, a little bit of breathing room, or so we thought. The Superbikes tried to chase him down. Jamie Hansen, Tommy Ryan, James Milroy Jr. all pushing the envelope. There you see Hansen going wide in turn 13. Gilmore able to cut right back underneath him. But all the meanwhile, Craig Bailey out front, unstoppable, grabbing the win. James Milroy just behind him, and Tommy Ryan going to close out the top 3 as they came across the stripe. Take a look at your Alpine Stars top 10. It is Craig Bailey, James Milroy Jr., Tommy Ryan, Cody Gilmore, Jamie Hansen, Bill Kazar, Craig Braymiller, Carl Schlacht, Emilio Jimenez, and Philip Doty, your top 10 for race number 2.
Great job, clean race all the way around. It was very exciting to see. Bagger racing is here to stay. We've just got so many great races. This is the best season I've ever seen, with the close racing, great people coming out, We've got crowds that are going to be showing up. We've got a great season ahead of us. Looking forward to all the racing we've got.
Yeah, it's the perfect storm. We've got the quality competition. We've got the riders. We've got the interest from the industry. And I mean, it really has just the way this season got kicked off, the close racing, the intense racing. Riders kind of not having beefs with one another, but they know, hey, this guy, he's legit. There's not as many questions this season as far as, oh, maybe we'll try to do well. The riders, the teams, they put in the work. They believe that they should be on the top step. And now you and I, Dave, as well as the viewers here on Racer TV, we are the real winners because this is the third round of incredible racing for BRL.
Absolutely. It just seems to keep getting better no matter where we're at. The racing is better, and we've got worldwide attention now going with BRL in Europe. It's so popular. And whenever I'm out talking to people, all that they can talk about is bagger racing because it's something so unique and has really just lit a fire around the world. It's exciting to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we said, our very own Ruben Zaus, not here in Nebraska this weekend because he is at the inaugural kickoff round of BRL Europe. It's in Cremona, Italy right now. Ruben, I know you're probably not watching, but we're sending you all the good vibes here from the US of A. We miss you, and we're excited to see what not only you, but BRL Europe as an entire series is able to do. So that just goes to show the growth. It continues to get bigger and bigger, and tons of world-class facilities as well that help make that happen, just like here at Motorsports Park Hastings. Well, it sounds like we've got things getting put together down on the podium, and we are just about ready to send it down to our man, Rob Vitus, standing by with our top three.
Well, thanks a lot, Zach. We are down here with the top three. Now, interesting thing. There's always some kind of drama in road racing. And it started with the cool-down lap. Now, you finished in the number 3 spot. This is obviously Tommy Ryan. Put some fast lap times in out there. And the race really certainly was coming your way towards the end of that moto.
Yeah, I had a bad start. I wish I could have hung with the front guys a little bit. But I don't know, it was fun passing people and had a good time.
Now, on the cool-down lap, who finished second, which was James Milroy? You said he broke down on the cool-down lap?
Yeah, I don't know if he ran out of gas or something, but he was on the track, so sucks for him.
That is a terrible thing, but you're down here with third place. Who you want to give a shout-out to, my friend?
This is Kansas 811, Underground Team Racing, Missouri 811, Jane K Towing, and Windrose Trucking.
Just remember, folks, call before you dig.
That's right. I call before you dig.
Congratulations. The mayor's got some hardware for you, second place. Now, we'll eventually get to the second place rider once he gets pulled back in here, but let's go to the top step here. You're on this side of me, Farmer. I saw this guy's leathers when we were in warm-up, and I told him the last race we had a guy in a full tuxedo set of leathers. You go, these are farm leathers, the bib overalls, the whole thing right here. This is our friend Craig Bailey. Congratulations on picking up the win.
Thank you.
You're a regular out here?
Yes. I come out to the Track Addicts events, and this is like my one of my home tracks, yes.
When you come out to an event like this, we have a nice crowd out here. The vendors are all lined up. We got the mayor handing out the hardware. It's a pretty good day here at Hastings.
Yes, it is, and you're putting on a great program here. I appreciate what you're doing.
Well, thank you very much. How about you? Want to give a shout-out to somebody?
First and foremost would be my primary sponsor, Motorcycle Supply out of Manhattan, Kansas. Second would be Flatland Supply Racing in Emporia, Kansas. I'd like to thank my coach, Ron Mears, and Ducati Omaha for the sticky Pirelli tires.
You know, you mentioned the coach out there, and a lot of people they think, well, you know, I've got my license, I'm kind of in it. You never have too much experience to learn something.
Oh no, never. He teaches me something every day, every lap.
Well, congratulations. The mayor's got some hardware for you as well. How about a nice round of applause for Craig Bailey? Come on over to the podium. Let's get a group shot of this thing. I'm going to send it back up to the booth as these guys get ready to reload and restock the grid over here. BRL stop number 3.
As soon as it's ready, the next race.
All right. Thanks, Rob.
And you just tap.
Well, we're going to get the podium reset as we get the bikes moved over. Hey, we were able to catch up with one of the family aspects. We talked about kind of grassroots family that BRL is all about. Well, the York family is a huge part of that, and we were able to catch up with Arch York, or maybe it was Arch York's dad. We go back and forth chatting with both of them to talk a little bit about being back here in Nebraska and racing at the BRL.
Hey, the BRL back once again, and when we talk about inclusivity, we're talking about something for every bike. Baggers, we got it. Air-cooled Harley Davidsons and Indians, we got them. But what if you have a Supermoto bike? Arch York, road racing royalty, by the way, has fielded a number of bikes. And tell us a bit about what we're looking at here.
This bike is KTM 450, just set up for Supermoto set. Actually Supermoto racing. We don't actually do the Supermoto with the jumps and stuff like that. We're strictly just road racing these bikes right now, but having a great time with it. My older son, Arch, the other Arch, chasing points on this bike, did really well last year. Had a great time with you guys last year. We had some great footage. Just if you're not here this weekend, you're missing out.
Well, we got to talk a little bit about this. Now, this falls into a lightweight category when it comes to road racing?
It does. And especially out here this weekend, actually by technicality, it would be in the middleweights. But we had such a good time last year, and all the other guys in middleweights actually sent in a request asking that the motards be dropped down to lightweight because they want to race with their buddies, and just the competition is high, and they all have a great time with each other. So we agreed to it. We thought it'd be awesome. So we're going to see some of the same head-to-head competition we had last year. So it should be a really good time.
I got to be honest with you, gang, there's nothing better than being out on a racetrack with your friends. And if you want to get into it in what would be considered a pretty affordable way to go, this is a great way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Buy it right off the floor. It's ready to race. It's built for race purpose only, and that's what it is. Not street legal, obviously. It comes actually with slicks on the bike from the factory even. So, obviously you have to change that out over time, but it's ready to race right out of the gate. You get it home, get it wired up, and you can go racing.
Well, gang, if you're looking for a great way to get into the sport, make sure you stop down at one of your KTM Husky or any of the dealerships out there and check out what this has to offer.
All right, great stuff. Yeah, as a motocross guy myself, I always love checking out those Supermoto bikes. But I tell you, as a motocross guy, I also like watching this guy out on track. We're down at the podium with our Metric Twins class, where Rob Bidas stands by Cody Gilmore.
Well, folks, you see something unique every time you come to a BRL event. It was a couple years ago, 5 to be exact, when we started this. And at the time, it was Harley versus Indian, and that's still the bread and butter of it. But we couldn't help but watch the internet, and people, what about a Goldwing? What about a BMW? What about? So a couple years ago, we came up with the metric bagger classes, one for multi-cylinders and one for twin cylinders. We get to the race, and one of our big sponsors, the guy from Rocks, said, hey, we have this CF Moto bagger that we put together. It's metric. It's a twin cylinder. We'd like to have somebody go out and take a couple laps on it. So the other day during practice, we went out and had Cody Gilmore put a couple laps. You came in, big smile on your face, saying, this thing's pretty good. We sit around last night, they start to safety wire, they start to set it up, and you go, hey, I'm going to race the thing today. Not only did you race it against a number of other bikes, you sliced and diced your way through the pack and were able to end up on the top step and putting in a top overall performance. Nice work.
Yeah, thank you. It was a good time out there. They came up and asked if I wanted to take this thing out for a spin yesterday, and I said, why not? Let's go out and get a few laps down. And, after dragging the foot pegs a couple times and messing up my shifts, we went to a GP shift today, and I told them, hey, if you guys want to go racing on it tomorrow, might as well let's get out there and get some laps down on it. So, man, it was a good time out there. The bike was brand new yesterday. So kind of broke it in pretty nice, I would say, kind of race it how you break it in. So, that was a good time.
I'd like to bring Chris Olin up here. He was the guy that put this thing together, and what had happened was the folks at CF Moto reached out to him. Now, he's a pioneer when it comes to the snowmobile world, and obviously we often talk about the handlebar way they could dial it in. But, Chris, you put this bike together more of just a what could happen if you were to utilize one of these, and did you think this was what was going to happen the first time it competed?
No, I didn't plan on this. But we kind of based it on what you guys are doing, the Bagger Racing League. The marketing director over at CF Moto was like, hey, that's really cool. What could you do with one of our bikes? And I said, well, send me one and we'll find out. So it turned out amazing. The lines look good. It's really solid, and we're just having a blast out here. So big thanks to Cody for doing what he's doing. So
it was Arnie Wells just a year ago, one of your teammates, that was able to wrap it up with a Goldwing. You're currently the points leader in the Metric Twins. That means CF Moto could pick up their first championship in the BRL by the end of the year.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to keep this thing going. I mean, this thing's out of the box stock except for, I think exhaust and, the bags and fairing. So once we can get some suspension work and maybe a little bit more power, I think the thing is the sky's the limit with it, and I think we're going to go back. I lost the front brakes the last 2 laps. It overheated them. I think it still has those stock brake fluid in there. So we get some good brake fluid in there for tomorrow, and I think we'll be able to get going a little bit faster even.
Chris, it sounds like you got some work cut out for yourself tonight.
Oh, yeah, we got some work cut out, but we're having fun, man. I had butterflies when he went out there, so this is pretty exciting stuff. Everybody should come out and see this. It's amazing. It's a lot of fun.
From butterflies to pterodactyls in your belly is kind of what it is, huh?
There you go.
Let's bring the mayor in here with some hardware for you. The first time that CF Moto Bagger has ever been on the track. Why don't you both, let's get your son over here as well. I know he's usually close by. Why don't the 3 of you hop up on the podium right here, and let's get a great shot of CF Moto's first ever bagger that has competed in the BRL. And gang, this is the top steps in this class. How about a nice round of applause for Cody Gilmore? We're going to throw it back up to the podium, and when we're done, ATU down here on the podium. We'll be back with more from BRL stop number 3 after these messages.
All right, yeah, thanks. Just like Rob said, when we come back, we'll be hanging out with our Zippers Performance Products ATU podium. We'll get a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll be back for the 2025 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers presented by Memphis Shades.
Welcome to Hog Halters. We're here in Dahlonega, Georgia, manufacturer of American V-Twin performance motorcycle parts. Been in business 25 years, got a 25,000 square foot facility. We pride ourselves in design and manufacture right here, made in USA. We're your one-stop shop for customization and performance builds. You can find us on the web, www.hoghalters.com. Lots of our parts are distributed by Drag Specialties and dealers nationwide, and we're distributed worldwide. Hog Halters, we're proud to be a partner with the Bagger Racing League.
Trans Performance is a leader in high-performance aftermarket parts for Harley-Davidson motorcycles. World-renowned for industry-first bolt-on turbo systems and cutting-edge motorcycle components, all made right here in the USA. Assault the street and the track with confidence. Performance-minded, performance-driven. Trask.
Hey guys, I'm Jake Masters. I race the street stock machine for the Suburban Motors, and I run an ultra cool one here. I wouldn't race without it.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to the 2025 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers. We're going to send things down to Rob Bidas standing by with our Zippers Performance Products ATU podium.
Tell you what, I got one more podium to do. You had one of the most unique experiences. You finished second overall, but you broke down on the warm down lap.
I think my fuel pump went out. The last lap, the bike felt like it was starting to run and lean. I was just trying to get it home, and then got through turn 1, turn 2, and it just started puttering, and I got stopped. I think Motorcycle Supply over there gave me a shove to a place where the truck can get me. But anyway, I got in here. I got plenty of fuel in my tank, so I'm assuming it's my fuel pump.
Well, congratulations. I mean, rarely does those things happen before you get, they usually happen before you get there, not after. So congratulations, second place.
Right on. I really appreciate it. I want to thank my family at home, my wife and my 2 boys. They support me, and that's it. Milroy Racing.
Well, let's move right into some hardware for this gentleman right here. Congratulations. The Figurati trophies that we're handing out here, state of the art. Congratulations out there. Nice job.
Thank you.
All right, let's hoist it up there for the folks at home on TV watching you. All right, let's move right into the ATU class. Finishing third place, it's Emilio Ramirez. Ramirez. Hold on. All right, come on up on the podium. We haven't seen you for a while. You come, you go. Sometimes you're here, sometimes you're not. But when you are, big smile, always having fun and putting in solid work.
Yeah, that's all we're trying to do here is have fun, go out there and ride. Great group of people to ride with at this track, and just having a good time.
You know, you guys came out here. The sun's starting to shine right now. You know it's going to be a great afternoon. Talk to us a little bit about what it's like out there, mixing it up with all the different bikes.
Honestly, it makes it a ton of fun right out there with the sport bikes and everybody else on the street setup bikes, and couldn't ask for a better outcome, really.
Well, congratulations. I know you have a lot of folks that help you out. Who you want to give a shout out to?
First to my family back at home, my mom, my dad, my wife. She's watching right now. I'd like to thank A+ Performance. Scott's done so much for Craig and I, and now Bob, who's on our team as well. Noon Performance, who built the exhaust on the bike. Cantor Gullo, Escarpment Arms, Noon Performance exhaust, DP brakes from Larry, and yeah. It's good.
Well, congratulations. That's a great statement. Nice work. Let's get some hardware over for you for third place. Next up, this is in the ATU class. We're going to say hello to our good friend, Mr. Carl Schlack. Carl, you were out there. Great start again, and then out there just doing some work.
Yeah, I tried to hold off Craig for a little bit, missed a shift. He got by me. We almost had a little collision, but man, that was a lot of fun. I can't thank everyone enough. I want to definitely say hi to Lincoln Oliver, Maggie River, my parents, everybody at home. Couldn't do it without you and the Lord for keeping me safe out there.
How about your mom and Billy Morris putting together a little theme music for us?
That was cool. I love it. Bagger Racing League has a tune.
All right. Who else you want to give a shout out to? I know you got a lot of sponsors.
Yeah, Hog Halters setting me up real good with awesome components. Alloy art, fueling, 77 cycles. I mean, this thing shifts great. 64 degrees. Blood lubricants, fueling parts. Bridgestone, Larry DP brakes. Everybody, Dark Horse, Chance at Barnett, Paula Fox for hanging out with us. And yeah, there's so many people behind us with the Speed Farm. We're growing. We're just having a lot of fun racing motorcycles with my friends.
Well, congratulations. I know the mayor has you down as one of his favorites. He wanted to come over and say hello to Carl. So here's your hardware right here. All right, we're going to have Craig Braymiller step into the center position right here. Here, come on down real quick. Stand a little closer. I don't know if I can reach up that tall over there. Stretch Armstrong here. Craig Braymiller, 331. Been with the Bagger Racing circuits for many, many, many years, and now you find yourself in the middle step in ATU.
Yeah, first win with BRL, and pretty awesome to be up here. It was kind of gifted to me. I hope Tony's good to go for tomorrow.
Well, Tony over there had a little bit of work, but hey, doesn't matter. The checker flag doesn't know how it happened. It just knows it happened.
Yeah, this feels great.
Who you want to give a shout out to?
Scott with A+ Performance, 13 Monkeys American Whiskey, the Cantor Gullo Law Firm. They're doing a lot to help us out this year. Geezer Engineering, Noon Performance, Gowanda Harley Davidson out there in Buffalo, doing a lot to help us get here. And there's a lot of people helping us out at Escarpment Arms, but yeah, really thanks to BRL for having us out here.
Well, welcome to have you out here. Mayor has some hardware for you, folks. This is the ATU Podium. As they get ready to celebrate and hoist up the trophies, congratulations to these guys. That's going to wrap up our podiums here in one of the most exciting battles of the day. We'll be back with our third race of the day coming up shortly.
Thanks, Rob. Man, I'm telling you what, Dave, this has really been an incredible day so far. We had a little bit of wind, if you remember, on our opening weekend, but we talked about 65, a little bit of overcast. This is good racing weather because now we're getting to see the racers versus the racers. They're not necessarily having to battle the elements, having to battle the track. Obviously, the track's got some unique features as well, but I think it's really going to make for round 3 and 4 to be one we'll never forget.
I agree, and it's great. It's just a level playing field, whereas last time we had some major wind and, of course, sand going across the track, which caused some huge issues. That's why we had 9 crashes. But this racing is just perfection, and it truly is mano a mano, and it's great to see.
It is great to see, and we're just getting started. We're going to get a quick word from our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll have more racing here at the BRL and the 2025 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers presented by Memphis Shades. We'll be right back.
It is the day of the specialists. Experts in a class conscious of every nuance. Focus rules. Our specialty is wheels, and wheels only. We respectfully carry the wheelwright legacy into our eccentric world by improving the rides of motorcycles and riders globally. We are proud wheelwrights, nothing more. We are Ride Right. Simple, solid, boundless.
racers win with Burns Stainless. Their no-holds-barred exhaust systems are built for one thing, power. With smooth inlets and stepped pipes engineered to keep exhaust velocity high, they squeeze every ounce of torque out of your motor. Their iconic 2-in-1 collector feeds into a reverse cone megaphone for that signature growl and performance edge. Drag strip or road course, Burns Stainless delivers. Get yours at burnstainless.com.
I'm Shane Narbone. I'm here with Trash Performance, 3-time Bagger GP champion, and I run Aircooled.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to round 3 of the 2025 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers presented by Memphis Shades. Zach Heron and Dave Dildine here as we get ready to drop the green flag on race number 3. We've got our Drag Specialties Lightweight Superbike as well. Drag Specialties, Unlimited Superbike as well. And Dave, looks like they're still getting ready to go out there on that warm-up lap.
This will be very interesting. We've got both lightweight Superbikes. We've got some Ninja 400s out there, and we've also got BMWs, Ducati V4s. We've got the full spectrum of sport bikes going out on the grid this time.
Yeah, we talked about the variety that we've had with others. Maybe not quite as different as far as classification goes, but like you said, Yamahas, Ducatis, BMWs, Kawasaki's. We've got so many different superbikes all going to be out on class. This, I think, may provide some of the closest racing we've seen all weekend yet, just because maybe the bike's a little more similar as far as design and the way they react quick off the line. Cars pretty hard to those corners. But as you just saw, a couple of the Supermoto bikes as well. We talked to Arch York a little bit about those KTMs, and we've really seen those strong in the BRL events, especially last year right here at Nebraska.
Very true, and you can see one of the Supermotos right there just getting his lines down. That's what BRL is all about. It is truly accessible racing, where we're seeing all types of bikes coming out and all types of riders that are out here. And it is accessible. It is grassroots. And what did you hear from the podium all day, all week? It is so much fun. I'm having a blast just riding with the BRL. So that's what this is all about. We are seeing a lot of guys just bringing their bikes out. Professional riders, you've got it all right here on the track here in Hastings.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, you've got world champs, you've got weekend warriors, you've got riders that race local series that are getting interested, and then you've got riders that travel the country to race the BRL series and to do all of our events as well. And what I can tell you is from last year to this year, we've had several that have gone from locals to saying, you know what, I'm committing. I want to do the full thing. I want to be at all the BRL events, all the Battle of the Baggers, and they are here week in and week out. And so, like you said, I think this is really just the start, the 5th year of Bagger Racing League here in 2025. And man, things just continue to heat up as we get ready to drop the green flag on race 3, our Drag Specialties Lightweight Superbike and Drag Specialties Unlimited Superbike coming up next.
Riders are getting into the grid right there. Look at lining up, getting ready.
Great shot here from the Wild Boar Audio live drone. Looks like most of those Supermotos towards the back of the grid, so we'll see how nimble they are slicing and dicing their way through some of these Superbikes.
We should be seeing them really kind of catching up a little bit on some of the technical parts in the back of the track, you know, right around that turn 13 that we've discussed before. They should be very nimble going around that, as long as they set up right. Here we go.
Quick moves being made as they head off into turn 1, and one of the things that we haven't highlighted is how quick of a switch this is between turn 1 and 2. The way these corners are set up, you know, if you really charge hard into turn 1, sometimes it doesn't set you up very well for turn 2. So these riders having to think ahead extremely far, multiple corners in fact. That way, when they're ready to strike, they're in the right position. As riders still shuffling around, trying to funnel into position as they all head off into turns 3 and 4.
That's absolutely true, and there's such a quick transition there, and then you've got that long straight.
Big crash.
Wow.
wait a second, saw the bike go flying off screen. Not sure who that was. Taking a look through our rider list, that might have been Tommy Ryan. Looked like it was a green machine, so possibly the 611. Hopefully going to be okay. That was a extremely high rate of speed. He went sliding, and like we saw in our opening weekend, sometimes it's unsuspecting as far as how fast these riders are going. And looks like they may be bringing the red flag out. As you see all of our competition checking up now, putting that hand up in the air. As, man, yep, there it is. All right,
yep.
Red flag waving in the air. So we'll try to get things cleaned up, and obviously first priority getting out to our down rider, making sure that he is okay.
Yeah, that looked horrific, him just going right off the track. And sometimes when it's a perfect day, what you think it may be a forgiving track, just one split second of inattention can cause a lot of problems.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Sometimes it's the comfortable conditions that actually reach up and bite you, because you feel like you can push a little bit more. We heard from several of our riders that this is a local spot for them that they've ridden on many, many times. So whoever that rider is, don't want to speculate until we get official word here, but hopefully going to be okay. Certainly went down at a high rate of speed. Let's take a look at that replay and watch on the live drone over on the left-hand side of your screen, trying to see exactly where that rider's at. Believe just made the pass for second. And yeah, just
off.
Yeah, just pushed way too hard coming into that corner. And man, that was a ton of speed. Here's another angle of it. You can watch top of your screen, and oh, you just see, I mean, that front tire gives away, and just low sides is down on the asphalt before he even knows what happened.
And once again, if you touch that grass, you are going down. It is just like ice. Whenever you touch that with your race tires on there, there is absolutely no traction whatsoever.
Well, and I think it was in that last shot especially, I think looked like he was already down on the ground. I think he was charging so hard to the inside of that corner, went to kind of push and pivot, and it looked like the front end just gave away, and he was down on the ground. So was sliding off and trying to take a look. Believe that might be the rider up on his feet.
There he is.
There he is. Okay, so great. Does look like laying there looks like the 611 bike. So possibly Tommy Ryan, the rider that went down, who we just talked to not long ago on the podium. But Ryan looks to be okay, at least up on his feet, and that is the most important part, especially after a scary crash like that.
Yeah, absolutely. That was pretty horrific looking, but he looks to be okay. Doesn't seem to be checking for body parts or anything, so that's always a good sign. He's just a typical rider, worried more about his bike. So
yeah, absolutely. As we take a look, we saw some of those riders, the other riders in class, hanging out. As we take a look, we'll give you a look through the rundown of the riders that we do have out on track. Teddy Holden on that Motorcycle Supply ride, Christopher Muck also Motorcycle Supply back, Tommy Ryan on the Underground Team Racing Kansas 811, Scott Short, Brendan Stewart, and then Arch York and Sam York both on that Underground Team Racing as well. And I believe both of those are some of our Supermoto riders. Of course, we can't forget about Samuel Fisher, Brian Haig, Hunter Malone, Rob Mears, Rob Oliva, Graham Williams, Alexander Wirtz, and Travis Wirtz all out on track as well there in that unlimited Superbike class, brought to you by Drag Specialties. And once again, a huge thank you to our friends over at Newcastle Harley-Davidson, bringing you this live broadcast on RacerTV.com. If you guys haven't already, make sure you're following Racer TV. As we see, looks like a rider going to hop into the ambulance for a ride, get it quick checked out before he heads back to the pits. And looked like he was walking under his own power and everything okay. But people always at home ask us, Dave, how they can get involved more, how they can show support for not only Bagger Racing League, but for Racer TV as well. Something as simple as clicking that subscribe button, whether you're watching live on Racer TV's YouTube or on Bagger Racing Leagues, and following us on social media as well, telling your friends about it, finding where the next VRL event is that's closest to you, and coming out and supporting in person as well. That's what it's all about. You can see the riders, they might look big, bad, and scary, but they're all friends, and having fun out here at the racetrack.
And always mutually concerned when one of them goes down. They're one of the most supportive groups you'll ever see. When somebody has mechanical issues, everybody's always there to help out. So it's great to see such a camaraderie that we have in the Bagger Racing League.
Yeah, they certainly seemed close. So having a lot of fun, and looks like they're trying to keep the spirits light there. That's got to be another part of it as well, keeping things light after a rider going down. We all know the risks that we take. Dave, obviously, I know you're a big partner there with Shark Law, which is a big motorcycle-based law group that kind of helps take care of motorcyclists when things go wrong as well. So you've gotten to see firsthand, sometimes these riders, they do see the dark side of the sport.
Absolutely, and one of the things you've got to do is when you have an accident or you see an accident, then you've really got to get that out of your mind, especially if you're about to get back on the grid and race again. It's all about having short memories when you're doing that on the track. But we see horrific motorcycle accidents every single day, and that's wow. It's Shark Law is always riding by your side.
Man, take a look at that. That just shows the amount of damage that can be done from a crash at that rate of speed, and just also shows how tough our racers are here at the BRL as well. The bike having to be hauled off, but the rider able to walk away under his own power. And just like you said, these riders already pushing it out of their heads, trying not to dwell on it. They've got the visors down, and they're ready to go racing as soon as they get the green light.
Very important. They all have very short memories when you see bad stuff happen, and they're professionals ready to go again and getting set, psyched up, and we're ready to go racing.
So as soon as the track is clear, we will release the riders to go back out on a warm-up lap, and then they will re-grid, and we'll be starting this thing from scratch here. No picking up on lap 2. It'll be a full restart. And, you know, we talk about the unique opportunities that we have, not only for riders, but for fans as well here at the BRL. This is an Alpine Stars Rapid replay from our opening weekend. This is the fan lap. And, Dave, this is something that we hear people talking about all weekend long. People showing up just so that they get an opportunity to take their ride out on the track that we're doing battle at for BRL.
This is one of the great aspects of the BRL. You get to bring your bike out and actually ride on a professional track. That is so much fun to be out on that track. You learn to truly respect what these riders are doing. You're just out on a parade lap, but you get to see every part of the track, the corners, how some of them are banked. It's so much fun, and you get to tell all of your friends, hey, I rode the track in Hastings.
Yeah, I was about to say, at first I thought this was from Chuck Walla, but this is from earlier today, our fan lap just before racing got started right here at Motorsports Park Hastings. And what's so cool about this, Dave, too, that we talk about, we get all of the track facts, all of the information. Don Hampton and the entire crew do a great job of relaying us information that they've learned about the track. So learning things like, this turn is got a little bit of an off-camber. Turn 7 here at Hastings is an off-camber 2% turn. And then this turn 2 is banked. A lot of viewers that are there at the track, and then especially at home, they don't recognize that stuff on camera. You've actually got to be out on the track to feel the way the bike wants to go left or right, to feel the way it pushes you to the outside. And that is when you see how impressive it is to see riders like Cody Gilmore, riders like Travis Wirtz, Teddy Honan, all of them to be able to fight the track the way it wants them to go. They're able to maneuver their machines just a little bit better and find those hot race lines as well. So really impressive stuff, and so much fun there for the BRL fan lap.
Nothing like being actually out on the track and feeling it. You're absolutely right. And you get a whole different perspective when you're on that track. Feeling the off-camber, as you said, some of those off-camber turns, they can throw you off, even if they're just a couple of degrees, as we have here. When you start leaning that bike over and the road's going away from you, it's a whole different skill set that you need.
Yeah, don't let 2% fool you. That is plenty of percentage as far as off-camber goes and how much it can affect the way the bike wants to react. All right, well, let's hope that short memories work as we are re-gridded and getting ready to go back racing. Here it is, the track specialty next generation Superbike and lightweight Superbike. Or excuse me, lightweight and unlimited Superbike off and rolling, as already seeing some battles for the lead. Got to think these riders may be going to show just a little hesitation as they come into those really fast turns 3 and 4.
Yes, they're putting it out of their mind, but at the same time, they're remembering, don't hit these corners too hard. They do have a limit.
Yeah, absolutely. There's entering the corner fast and then there's too fast. And we've seen where that will get you is, here we go, headed back through that corner once again. Riders look like they've kind of funneled back into position a little bit quicker here on this restart. Not quite as many riders trying to make passes side by side. As it looks like the field clean and clear there for turn 4.
Yeah, they're following very similar lines right now, just trying to get everybody figured out, all those riders around them at the same time, trying to pick their own lines. And I think we're going to see some diverse lines in just a lap or two, but they're kind of getting used to where this track is falling and seeing exactly where their passing opportunities are. Every one of these guys has the guy in front of them lined up in their sights.
Well, and just like you talked about, Dave, the variance in line choices is so clear as we take a look at that Wild Boar Audio live zone. Watch the Supermoto bikes cutting up the inside coming into some of these corners. They're hard on the brakes, sliding up the inside. Meanwhile, all about momentum for the Superbikes as Ron Mears now checks in on the 127 Tornado Bait Racing backed ride, leading the way with Brian Haig just behind him on that LM2 Racing back number 79 machine. Then 2 seconds behind them is the 145 of Rob Oliva, also on that LM2 Racing backed ride, holding on the final top 3 positions, all out of your unlimited Superbike class.
Ron Mears running at 131. That is one of the fastest laps we've seen so far, and that's just lap 1, so it's going to be exciting to see if he can keep that up.
Yeah, at least on the charts that I've seen, I think that is the fastest lap that we've seen so far today, so we'll have to see whether or not that's just a blazing opener or if he can maintain that, as it looks like Brian Haig in the number 2 spot. We saw that outside leg kind of pick up, doing everything he could to counterbalance. He is putting the heat on, and he wants that number 1 spot.
He absolutely does. Coming up, trying to get that inside-outside going. Oh, he's following very close, ready to make his move.
So look, the
Ron Mears
140. So that's Oliva and Haig, actually, the 145 and the 79, trying to see whether or not your leader is at the top of the screen. I couldn't quite tell in that shot. Meanwhile, it might be Rob Oliva taking over the number 2 spot. I saw Ron Mears check in there as it drops down to a 129.5 on that last lap for your leader. Ron Mears is setting a blazing pace as now Rob Oliva checks in the number 2 spot at a 133.
You saw him lift that tire just a little bit on the front. He is putting the power to it and keeping everything under control, but just all out. Some of the best performances we've seen all weekend so far.
And looks like we're going to stick with this battle for the second place spot as Rob Oliva and Brian Haig go at it. The 79 closing within a couple of bike lengths down the long back stretch here at Motorsports Park Hastings. They'll come right back into camera shot. Rob Oliva got a rear view mirror full of the 79 ride. Oliva really strong through a couple of those corners those days. You see how much he's able to open up in the tight stuff.
Just a little bit, yeah. Now, the last lap, these two, there was actually just 0.3 of a second between these two on their lap times. So they are truly battling it out. Obviously, Brian's trying to get back up there to make another shot at him. Great lines. You see them taking those inside lines, getting the knee down, dragging that knee. That helps, again, with the slowing down the bike. Also helps with the momentum in and out of the turn.
And we are just now at the halfway mark of this race. So all of us still got plenty of time to have to deal with Brian Haig. Meanwhile, Ron Mears out front. Sounds like may have had another rider go down. Getting word there from race control, so we'll have to wait and see. Sticking with this battle for the second place spot, though. Oh, halfway down, excuse me. Okay, perfect. So, well, that's good. I'd much rather mishear that than have another rider down. So, Haig now trying to find a way around all of it, taking a long way around, it looked like, in a couple of those corners, but still not able to get much closer than about 2 bike lanes. Look at this. We said this was going to be close racing in this class. That's exactly what we've got, Dave.
Boy, right up there on the rear tire, and he's going to take the inside and make the pass right in that turn. And we're going to see if he can come back. Wow. Stretching it out just a little bit right there. Clean pass.
I almost feel bad for Ron Mears at the front of the field right now, though. He is gone. Another 129.6 on that last lap. He's setting pace that we haven't seen at all so far. Meanwhile, got to give a shout out back in the 4th place spot, the 247 of Graham Williams, a 132. So he's the second fastest rider on track back there in the 4th place spot.
That is incredible lap time. Ron Mears is just, he's 3.5 seconds on his last lap time in front of everybody else. So he is just kind of checking out a little bit, but we got this battle with Brian Haig and Rob Oliva is heating up again, it looks like.
I think this on screen is actually Teddy Holman and Christopher Mutt going at it, the 6 and the 696. So it's almost hard to tell which Superbike battle we're looking at sometimes. This is the Oliva and Haig battle. You know, I recognize the red machines there for the 79 and the 145. Meanwhile, the 127 is gone out front. So that is 2nd, 3rd, and 4th you are seeing on screen. As Graham Williams going to try to get into this fight as well, possibly make it a 3-rider battle between 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in those final few laps.
You can see how far they're pushing in these corners, coming up to the edge at times, which is a razor's edge. There's not a lot of room between a razor's edge and a bleeding edge right there on some of these turns. So there is 0 room for mistakes.
Yeah, when you get that close, especially going at that speed, there's not much hanging on to it if you go across that line. So when we talk about the skill that these riders have as far as using every inch of the track, that's right where they like to be, is on that razor's edge. And you see that across the top level of the sport anywhere. Those riders constantly pushing the envelope and pushing the limits to try to improve. Once again, that front tire pushed up for Haig. Another lap in the books.
Just beautiful control of that machine right there. He's got it dialed in, and it's just beautiful lines all the way through this track. And he's getting a little more distance. Right there.
Got to give a shout out to Teddy Honan on that motorcycle supply ride. I believe he is your leader out of the lightweight superbike class back there in the 6th place spot. So really shows that these unlimited superbikes have what it takes to run an incredible pace. Is now 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, all running 132s on that last lap. Excuse me, first, another 131. So this guy, just incredible performance up at the front, Ron Mears.
Beautiful racing. Yeah, we had a best time of 129, which is incredible on this track. He's just kind of checking out, but we've got a lot of racers in the low 130s, and that's making it even more exciting.
Shouldn't be long before a white flag is waving, and there it is. White flag comes out, 1 lap left to go for Mears as he is trying to dominate and bring this thing home for a win out of your unlimited superbike class.
So many of these riders are just so consistent in their lap times. They know exactly where they want to be on this track, and they are constantly running within 1/10 of a second of what they ran the lap before. So they're just great consistency, showing their professionalism and showing that they've dialed this track in.
Yeah, it's incredible. You look at the lap time chart for Ron Mears, a 131.5, a 129.5, a 129.6 for 2 laps, then 131s for every lap since. So the consistency within 2 seconds, no matter what, this whole time, absolutely incredible, as Mears just about half a lap or so away from bringing home a win in this Drag Specialties Unlimited Superbike class.
Beautiful racing, and you see one of our Supermotos right back there on the right side of your screen.
Yeah,
totally different type of race.
Doesn't look like those Supermotos, not that they're not in the fight, but at the front of the field at least, haven't quite had the power to really be able to do what they've hoped. But like you said, they're so nimble. The lines that they're able to take vary so much compared to most Superbikes. Still a weapon to have out on track as your leader makes his way through what should be the final corner. And here it is. Ron Mears is going to grab the win and get the job done out of the Drag Specialties Unlimited Superbike class in dominating fashion.
Great race for him. You got Brian Haig coming and Rob Oliva right after that. Just both running 132s. Great racing.
Man, so great stuff out of both that Unlimited Superbike as well as the Drag Specialties Lightweight Superbike class as well. As the riders start to make their way around on the cool down lap. Give us just a minute here and we'll bring you that Alpine Stars race replay and show you exactly how things broke down as the riders taking a look over the shoulders, high-fiving, hooting and hollering, and of course waving at the fans as well as they make their way around this Motorsports Park Hastings track.
So good to see the fans out there. And, you know, we've got, like we've been talking about, so many people. It's so accessible. People are getting more involved, whether it's the fans, the riders, sponsors are coming on board. It's great to see how much attention bagger racing is getting.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at your Alpine Stars race replay here for the Drag Specialties Lightweight and Unlimited Superbike classes. The green flag flew, and there was some quick shuffling going on there as they head into turn number 1, and then things went sideways. The 611 ride went for a ride he didn't sign up for. Don't worry, everybody. They don't kiss and tell here at BRL as the riders went back, red flag, regridded, and went back to work as Ron Mears set sail. Rob Oliva and Brian Haig had a battle royale, as did Hunter Malone and Graham Williams as well. But this man, the 127 of Mears, untouchable, consistently running in the high 120s, low 130s, and it was enough to get him to run away with the win. You take a look at your Alpine Stars top 10. Ron Mears from the Tornado Bait Racing grabs the win. Brian Haig and Rob Oliva, both from that LM2 Racing team, second and third. Graham Williams, Hunter Malone, Teddy Honan, Christopher Muck, Scott Short, Brandon Stewart, and Alexander Wirtz, your top 10 here for the Drag Specialties Lightweight Superbike and Unlimited Superbike classes.
Really some great racing from these guys. It was so great to see the different types of bikes on the track and seeing what those super bikes can really do.
Certainly a ton of fun, and can't forget those Supermotos either in there in the mix as well. And we'll be catching up with our podiums here in just a minute or two as well. You can see the riders getting set up and prop those machines up, and then be chatting it up with Rob Bidas to tell us about their race. I'm sure plenty to say. I can't wait to hear from second and third between Brian Haig and Rob Oliva. That battle was so much fun to watch, and you know those guys were having fun out on track being a part of it as well.
You know, all these guys, they're great competitors, but many of them are great friends, and so you never want to get beaten by your friends. So you got somebody that you're close to, and they're just ahead of you. Everything you can to take that podium place away from them. So great to see these guys just going at it all through the race. I mean, that was a start to finish battle there. That was amazing to see.
Well, and on top of that, you know, there's nobody you want to beat more than your buddy, but at the same time, if you were going to get beat by anybody, you'd want it to be your buddy. And just like you said, so many of these teams and families they're families. They're not just friend groups anymore. Their actual families travel across the country together. They work on the machines together, and it really is cool to see how close of a group we have here at the Bagger Racing League, the different teams, the different riders, and really makes it so much fun to be a part of. And I think that's a big part of why we do see these new faces come to our BRL events, Dave, and all the time they're like, man, this is so much fun. I'm so glad I came. I can't wait for the next one.
Walking through the paddock at any of these races, you see how close all of these teams are. You know, yes, they're competitors, but they truly are a family, and they're always checking on each other, and they will share parts if they need them. It's incredible to see just this accessibility, as we've talked about with the Bagger Racing League, how many people are getting involved, and it's because it is truly a family. It's with the fans, the sponsors, the riders. Everybody feels connected, and that's what's been so exciting and why it's become a worldwide phenomenon.
Absolutely. That's why it's taken over Europe and Australia as well. Well, hey, it's just about time to talk to some of our top riders, as it sounds like Rob Bitus getting ready to stand by and bring us the podium. Down there, Rob, we're sending it down to you.
All right, guys, we're down here. This has been a really barn burner. We got Unlimited Superbike and a good friend of mine. I want to call him a brother almost, the way he's been helping us so much. This is Rob Oliva. Congratulations on the third place ride out there.
You know, these guys are making me work way too hard to get on a podium with the BRL. You know, I thought I could buy my way in. You haven't let that happen. Now I got to fight with these guys.
See, that's the thing out there. There's no easy ways into this road racing world. You got to scrap and fight for everything. I know that you put a lot of time and effort into the sport, to the lifestyle, to the community of motorcycles. And I know that whether it's CRA or the BRL, you're very, very important to the whole program.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. But there's a lot of people in this paddock right now that are important to their communities, to motorcycling in general. One of my main sponsors, Solomon Cycle Solutions, has a bike out here in Super Street for the first time. I mean, you got, you know, Tucker Speed, you got Suburban Harley Davidson, you got all these guys that are just icons in their communities that are coming together and showcasing what they can do here. And so thank you for putting that on, Paula, Drag Specialties, you, everything that's been combined here to showcase the talents of these people.
Well, I know that when you come out here and you ride something that's as special as this Ducati, you got some people that help you out along the way.
Oh, I do. I mean, obviously, Nick Solomon of Solomon Cycle Solutions. Larry, where's Larry Mills with DP brakes? You know what it takes to stop this thing? DP. But, you know, Bridgestone Tires, Rory, those guys have been helping me out tremendously, and I've just had, you know, I've been blessed. You're right. I've been around a long time. I've got a lot of great contacts and great people on my side, and I like it.
Well, congratulations. The mayor got some hardware here for you. Rob Oliva down here. Brian Hagee, all morning long, you've been excited, you've been happy, you've been ready to go. You out here, you guys really put on a battle out there. I saw you get a heck of a good start, too.
Yeah, that bike's got a lot of power, so I get a good start usually every time, and Rob always makes it interesting. He doesn't give me the win.
Well, there's nothing given out here, huh? You got to take it if you want it. Who you want to give a shout out to?
I'd like to thank LM2 Racing for helping me get out here, Trackside Labs for help set up my stuff, Premier Tree Professionals for paying the way. I really appreciate the BRL for throwing this event. So thank you guys very much. This is a hoot.
Well, we're certainly happy to have you out here, and solid work out there.
Thank you. It's a backup bike. We wrecked the first one, so we had to make do with what we had.
Well, you guys certainly made do really well. So, again, a nice round of applause, if you would, for Brian Hagee. Now, Ron Mears. We saw the grid, we saw the yellow high-vis spots on the line. The mayor was down there. He said, I think this guy might have a little something in store for all of them out there. Nice work.
Thank you very much. I have to give credit for the spots to one of my sponsors here, Motorcycle Supply out of Manhattan. They thought it was a joke the first time they put spots on. I was like, it's recognizable, so I just went with it from then on.
You know, once you have kind of a trademark thing, it's hard to get away from it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's recognizable. People can find me on the track. My mom used to come watch me race. She wanted to be able to see me on the track, so I was like, pick out the polka dots. That's me.
That's you, the polka dot guy. Any sponsors you want to recognize?
Yeah, again, Motorcycle Supply out of Manhattan, and Tornado Bait Racing, and my family. And you guys put on a hell of a show. I appreciate you welcoming all types of bikes out here. And if you're not out here watching, shame on you, because these guys and these V-twins put on a hell of a show. It's a spectacle to behold. There's a doubleheader. If you're not here today, come tomorrow.
Well, that's a nice invitation, but here's the other thing. If they're at home and they don't want to come out, they can watch it live on TV. We put it up there. We want to make sure that you get all the recognition. And thank you very much for the kind words, and best of luck to you tomorrow as well.
Yeah, I'm going to try to give it a twofer. Well, maybe you see what Brian and Rob has to say about that.
Well, the mayor's got some hardware for you guys. Let's get that passed out here as well. We'll have you gentlemen step up on the podium up there. And, guys, what we're going to do right now is throw it back into the studio so that we can get ready to re-rack this podium. And we got more action to go. We're going to be coming back up with the Andrews Bagger GP with the Pirelli Pro Stock, and with the Barnett Super Street. But we have one more podium to go. Congratulations. How about some noise for all three of these riders?
All right, thanks, Rob. Great stuff as we get the podium reset down there. Hey, we talked about the event that is when BRL comes to town. Well, that means we got to have a welcome party. Let's take a look. Thursday night welcome party going down at First Street Brewery. So much fun.
And if you know anything about the BRL, you know, like to have a good time. Well, we try to kick off every racing weekend with a stop at one of the local restaurants, bars, something else that really captures the essence of the city. We're in Hastings, Nebraska. It's Memorial Day weekend, and we came to the First Street Brewing Company. Jesse invited us. Thank you very much.
Thanks for being here, Rob.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. Some of the best hops, grains, barley, and malt that can ever be made. Food trucks outside, an amazing atmosphere. And you said, hey, we want the BRL to come down and check it out.
Yeah, we met you guys last year, and we thought this was a really cool situation, so we wanted to spend more time.
Well, I'll tell you what, race fans, if you're in Hastings, Nebraska, make sure you stop by First Street Brewing Company, order yourself up a nice Pilsner, and enjoy your stay here in Hastings.
Absolutely worth checking out. And look at this. On top of that, we had some birthday celebrations going on as well. Always so much fun. And this just speaks to the family atmosphere that we talked about, Dave. Having a good time. Listen to that. Everybody singing happy birthday to you. That's what better place to spend your birthday than right here at BRL.
It's true. You know, we keep mentioning the word family and fun, and that's really what the BRL is all about. And seeing these guys, no better place to spend your birthday than with the Bagger Racing League.
Absolutely. Certainly a great time is putting the final touches here on the podium, getting those bikes set up, and always so cool on top of how fast the bikes are. I always love checking out the way these things look as well. Great graphics and so many unique little custom design things that these riders do. Really make it fun to check out. But hey, enough about scoping out the bikes. Let's hear from our riders and send things back down to Rob Bitus on the podium.
Well, we're back down here on the podium again. This is the you guys are starting to become like a regular down here in the whole thing. Let's say hello to our friend Scotty Short. Nice job once again.
Yeah, it was a little bit lonely, kind of sketchy with the big bikes in front of us. Our corner entry speed is a big difference, but man, it made for a blast that first couple laps.
You know, you talk about having a good time out here, and the folks that are at home are maybe thinking about coming out and doing this. This isn't a $50,000 race bike. This is pretty affordable right here.
I would not like to comment on that. Sarah, my wife, would definitely disagree.
I tell my wife that things are like $300. That's what I'm afraid that she's going to sell everything for $300.
Yeah, definitely need some hide some pocketbooks. Luckily, my wife rides also, does track days. She's a huge help in the pits. At CRA, she was taking care of 10 bikes at once. So, like, having a good support system is really key.
Well, your support system seems solid. Congratulations on the award. Let's hand out some hardware from the mayor here. Congratulations. Now, second place. This was a little bit of a role reversal. Chris Muck, you picked up the win, and now these guys are starting to maybe follow your lines a little too close.
Yeah, you know, we race together a lot, and this guy over here just had a better pace. He got me on the brakes in a couple spots, and I just couldn't pull through, unfortunately. So, you know, it is nice following a really shiny, perfectly painted bike from Leor Enterprises, though. It's a good place to sit behind, so it's not a bad place.
So the view was very good, you're saying?
Yeah, the view is great. Teddy, not so much. Bike, real good.
Well, congratulations. Any shout-outs you want to make sure you let the sponsors know how much you appreciate it?
Again, Motorcycle Supply, can't thank them enough. Bill Kaiser takes very good care of us, and Scott and our pit crew, as Scott said, we have a good backbone behind us, so that keeps us going out here.
I know we must be doing right if we could get Kazar out of the dealership to come to a race when I know he'd like to be open.
Oh, he's still open. Oh, he makes his little minion stay there. Shout out to Dalton Clark watching. So, but yeah, we have a good time. Bill's been out there. We're happy to be representing Motorcycle Supply and flying the flag and having a good day.
Well, congratulations. The mayor's got some more hardware for you. Before we go to the middle step, Teddy, you were a man of few words the last time you were up here. Now you're over here taking all the glory from these guys.
Thank you. I had a great race, great battle with Muck. You know, you just got to send it.
Well, you certainly did send it out there. Now, you mentioned earlier the paint job here. I haven't seen a good metallic glitter paint job like that in quite a while. It's like a bottle of glitter blew up on your bike.
We call it stripper glitter, but for Mom, it's Bass Boat. So.
Oh, Bass Boat. Okay, yep.
Sorry, Mom.
How about the family? You want to make sure we recognize them as well?
Oh, yeah, my wife right over there, Bree, and my daughter, Tilly. She's trying to take a nap, so I'm trying not to be too long. But, yeah, and Bill, of course, consider him family, my mentor. Thank you.
Are we going to see him out there on this podium here pretty soon?
Are we?
He had the Ducati Monster. He was all ready to go. We thought for sure we were going to see him in action. Congratulations. I know the Bridgestone crew, Rory over there, is sexy, of course, and great shirt. So nice job.
Thank you.
Well, let's get this handword. The mayor here wants to get it done. Guys, get up on the podium. Here's the best part of the day, gang. We got our final race coming up shortly. This is going to be where they line up on the grid and we go through the whole F1 style experience. We're going to get the bikes on warmers. We're going to have these race fans come out and experience what this is all about, to feel the adrenaline, to get going. And we'll be back in just a few minutes with the Andrews Bagger GP, the Pirelli Pro Stock, and the Barnett Super Street class.
All right, thanks, Rob. Just like he said, we've got our pit walk coming up next, our grid walk, I should say, where we have all of them. I mean, the riders, the families, the fans, everybody gets their opportunity to go out on the grid, check out these bikes, get up close and personal with them, meet the riders, sign some autographs, take some photos, and then we get ready to drop the flag on the final race of the day. But before we get to all of that, we have a very unique feature. We talked about Tony Tucker a little bit earlier today. Tony was in the booth with myself last year, but has now healed up and gotten back to racing. But he said, you know what, I can't leave the folks at Racer TV behind. So Tony has taken on a new role as our rider representative. And what that has allowed Tony to do is to break things down in a little bit more depth as far as the difference between certain aspects of racing that we have at the BRL. This week, our tech tip from Tony Tucker is the difference between DOT tires and race tires that you see here at the BRL.
Hey guys, Tony Tucker here with the BRL tech tip for you today. Today we're going to talk about tires. I got a couple of Pirellis here in front of me. This is the Pirelli Diablo DOT race tire. This tire, you can see, has a little bit of tread compound in it. If you're going to race in our Super Street class, you're required to run a DOT tire. That means it has a DOT rating on it. This tire has, like I said, tread compounds. It comes in one rubber compound, and it's a really great tire. You jump up over here. This is a full race slick. If you're going to jump up to our Pro Stock or even the Bagger GP class, you're going to run a slick. You're going to be on tire warmers, different temperatures, different pressures. And so just a couple of tires and the differences between the two in our classes here at the BRL. So hopefully this helps you guys. If you want to come out and race with us, I hope to see you in Gingerman here in just a few weeks.
All right, great stuff from Tony there, breaking some things down. I know at our opening weekend, we kind of broke down some of the differences of the bikes. Now taking that a step further this weekend, Dave, breaking down the difference between some of those tires our top athletes are running.
That is probably the most important part of the racing here. We've seen what happens when those tires break loose. And we saw that in the last race. And that is all that is between you and disaster at times. You're pushing your tires as far as they can go, and once you go a little bit past that, disaster takes place. But so important, all these tires and the different compounds. It is a true science, and everybody is dialed in on what they need.
And, you know, beyond just the different parts and accessories on the bike, these bikes have personality. You see some of the FDR bikes, you see compared to the Tony Tucker, some of the cheetah print design to maybe the more fluorescent design. Well, one of the bigger personalities as far as riders that we have at the BRL is none other than Clay Braun, who is back racing with us and was able to catch up with Rob Bidas a little earlier this weekend.
Hey, one of the things we wanted to do is show you some of the behind-the-scenes peek as to the personalities that make up the BRL. Clay Braun has been part of the series for many, many years now. Has some wins, has some big moments. It was a short time ago at Chuckwalla. We saw you go down, and your team worked like madmen and women to get this bike back together.
Yeah, you're not wrong, man. Bike did a couple of kick flips. We're coming back with a new bike, from suspension to, trail rake changes. I'm not a mechanic. You know, that's Josh's job. I just ride the thing. So he gives me a missile to ride, and I can't be more thankful from, you know, on and off the track stuff. He's just on it, and he's there. He's giving me a rocket to ride, so I'm pumped.
You know, one of the things, a lot of these guys out here, they'll have something that kind of strikes a chord with them, but you have a catchphrase that you like to usually wrap up all your things with. What would you share that with the crew?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's Party on Harleys, baby.
You want to make sure you come out and see more about what Clay Braun, and want to party on a Harley? Come see this guy at a BRL event.
And if Clay Braun's around, it is a party on a Harley. Dave, you and I actually saw him shortly after that crash the following morning, and man, finger was a little bit mangled. The energy was down just a little bit, and I mean just a little bit with Clay Braun, but he was hopeful. He was actually trying to still race that day, but I know he's healed up, feeling back at full strength now, and ready to come out swinging here in this final race of the day.
I saw him at a Costa Mesa Speedway race actually last week, and just the fire was in his eyes. He's ready to go. You know, their crew chief, Josh, took his bike down to the frame and took everything apart. They've put new parts on that. They've actually raised the suspension 3 full inches for ground clearance. So that's going to be a different bike than he rode back in Chuckwalla. It's going to have some different characteristics. He's been loving it, and so it's going to be great to see how he adjusts to the new changes on that bike.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be fun to watch, as some of those small differences make such a huge impact as far as the way the bike handles. So taking a look now at a couple of the machines that we are going to be seeing out on track, and taking a look in qualifying, looks like it might have been Danny Spina with the fastest time out on track, just in front of Cody Gilmore. And speaking of folks that we were able to catch up with earlier this week, let's toss things down to Rob Bidas catching up with Robbie Lane from Alloy Art earlier this weekend.
Hey, Rob Bidas from the BRL. We find ourselves over at the Alloy Art pits with the man himself, Robbie Lane. Robbie, we're looking at the bagger. We've seen the Pan America. So many parts come out of the Alloy Art factory, if you will, that these race teams rely on. What are some of the must-haves when it comes to competitive bagger racing?
Well, you got to get the bike handling right. You got to get the rider comfortable. A lot of these guys come from the sport bike world, so what we've tried to do is, you know, melt the Harley world with the sport bike world to get these guys comfortable, to get these guys confident in these bikes. So we've, you know, instituted some thumb brake stuff with Akasato. We've come up with our own adapter plates. Through the years, we've tried to do our own foot controls, rear sets, mid controls, all sorts of different configurations. And what we decided to do is, you know, there's companies out there that have been making the foot controls for the sport bikes forever, right? They got it dialed in. The stuff's perfect. It's great. It's off the shelf. We just needed to make an adapter to utilize those products. So we just recently came out with some adapter plates that help connect the Harley frame to the sport bike controls. Our air cleaner, of course, is doing great. Swing arm bushings. The race swing arm is the best bang for the buck performing swing arm on the market. It's 10 or 12 pounds lighter than stock. It's an incredible piece. Pretty much anything we do, we try to do the best of our ability and just keep on improving year after year.
Well, just remember, when you talk about Alloy Art, you know it is tested at the racetracks before it hits the street.
All right, great stuff. Well, we are just about ready to kick off interviews down on the grid walk. We're going to get a quick word from our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll be catching up with all of our riders before we drop the green flag on our final race of the day. This is the 2025 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers, presented by Memphis Shades. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Hog Halters. We're here in Dahlonega, Georgia, manufacturer of American V-Twin performance motorcycle parts. Been in business 25 years, got a 25,000 square foot facility. We pride ourselves in design and manufacture right here, made in USA. We're your one-stop shop for customization and performance builds. You can find us on the web, www.hoghalters.com. Lots of our parts are distributed by Drag Specialties, and dealers nationwide, and we're distributed worldwide. Hog Halters, we're proud to be a partner with the Bagger Racing League.
Trans Performance is a leader in high-performance aftermarket parts for Harley-Davidson motorcycles. World-renowned for industry-first bolt-on turbo systems and cutting-edge motorcycle components, all made right here in the USA. Assault the street and the track with confidence. Performance-minded, performance-driven. Trask.
Hey guys, I'm Jake Masters. I race the street stock machine for the Suburban Motors, and I run an ultra cool one here. I wouldn't race without it.
Make your mark with Memphis Shades, designed by riders, for riders, and handcrafted in the heart of Tennessee. From raw materials to the open road, our windshields and fairings deliver the quality, protection, and comfort every rider deserves. Whether it's cross-country or weekend rides, Memphis Shades lets you ride longer, look better, and enjoy every mile. Visit memphisshades.com/BRL to check out our full lineup and upgrade your ride today. Memphis Shades, style that works.
My name's Carl Schlacht, 2024 Bagger Racing League American Twins Unlimited Champion, and I run an ultra cool oil cooler and flow filter.
I mean, we're going to go from here, we'll go there, we'll just make our way through.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to the 2025 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers presented by Memphis Shades. We've got the grid walk going on where all of the fans can hang out and catch up with their favorite riders. But for the viewers at home, we've got our very own Rocket Rob Bidas standing by with our BRL racers.
Well, the Alloy Art crew's down here trackside, and they seem to do things at a very high level. They bring you in with very, very, very little preparation work, and you find yourself on pole.
Yeah, I mean, the guys at Alloy Art do everything top notch, and I'm just honored to be able to ask to be here and trying to do them right and put this bike near the front or on top step at the end of the day. So yeah, the Alloy Art guys, can't say enough good things about them.
Well, I know that folks over at Bridgestone, Rory O'Neill in particular, he was the one that singled you out and said this is the guy to go with.
Yeah, Rory's great. I can't thank him enough for making the connection with the Alloy Art guys, and I owe Rory dearly for that.
Well, best of luck to you today. We hope to see you back on the podium.
Thank you very much.
Let's slide on over here. We're going to go talk to Danny Spina. Danny, step on up here. Danny Spina comes all the way from California to be part of the Hastings, Nebraska round number 3. You're currently tied for the points lead in the Pirelli Pro Stock class, and so far today you've been putting in some solid work.
Yeah, it's been really fun. The weather's been cooperating. Yeah, as you said earlier, I'm tied with Jake, so very excited to get on track. We haven't really had much time together on track. So, I'm looking forward to spending some laps with him. Clay was putting in some super fast lap times too. So front row's really, really looking promising. So I think that this literally could be any of our race. So whoever's feeling a little better today.
Well, best of luck to you out there.
Thank you, Rob.
Danny Spina over here. We're going to slide on over to the next bike. This is Jake Masters. Jake Masters comes from Australia, not exactly down the street. You can't drive here from Australia. So welcome. You're tied for the points lead in the Pirelli Pro Stock class. Last week, a month ago, you were able to pick up the win. The second day, it was a second place. Danny went 2-1, so now you guys are tied for it. And I know you're not a tie kind of guy. You want to break that tie.
Oh, for sure. We're going to go out and have a good race. I'm super excited. I've ridden here before. I'm super comfortable and feeling good on this orange machine. So it'll be a good day. There'll be some good battles out there. The live broadcast is going to be one to watch.
You know, you talk about the live broadcast, and I know there's folks, we were looking at the monitors, Australia tuning in and incredibly strong out there. You're bringing the BRL to Australia this December, I believe.
Yeah, so it should be there by November. We're working on another couple dates, but definite track day in November and then a full season of racing next year.
Well, best of luck to you. Thanks for keeping the BRL global, and have a good day.
Hell yeah. I'm keen to see this race, and I'll be watching it back too on Racer TV after I'm done.
Jake Masters here on the Sly Fox Suburban Harley. Let's slide on over here. We got Clay Braun. I'm going to make my way into here real quick. Clay Braun.
Yeah.
He likes to party on a Harley. He's out here. This bike looks pretty special. It wasn't but a month ago you guys went overtime to get this thing built and ready to go.
Yeah, man. You know, when you push the envelope, you kind of find out pretty fast. And thankful for my team putting a missile back together for me, from new front end, rear end, alloy art, giving me a new swing arm, subframe, all this crazy stuff. And you know, I'm out here to once again push the envelope and see what I could do.
You know, you talk about some of the companies that step up. They don't want to see anybody miss a race. They want to make sure that we continue to grow. Once again, we're back over 20 baggers here, and that's a big thing.
Yeah, 100%. You know, my famous saying, party on Harleys. You know, I can't party on Harleys by myself. So this grid is looking amazing with good, loving people, man. And, you know, we're here to spread the word.
FDR, always representing in the house. We're going to slide back and talk to a few more of these competitors here. We'll make our way back over here. Phil Doty, where's our rider at on this machine right here? He's looking for a bolt right now, so let me do this. We're going to come back and get him in a second, but let's slide right over here to, he made it? All right, let's go back over here. You're just in time. That's the best way to be. So you were out there sourcing your own bolts for this bike.
Yes, we had a problem with our shifter. Go figure. Right as we got on grid here, but everybody's pitching in to help, and I think we're gonna be able to race.
You know, you put this thing together. It's a little bit of an older design, but competitive as can be.
It handles very well. What do you need? Oh, okay. It handles very well. Originally set up by A+, and then they built some other bikes. And on a track like this, where you don't need a whole lot of power, it seems, it's like very technical. I think it does really well.
Well, best of luck to you. Looking good out there.
Thank you very much.
Let's have a nice day. Now we're going to slide over. A lot of you race fans will remember this gentleman right here. From last year, he was behind the microphone. Now, when we started, he was finding himself on the podium at a pretty regular deal. But Tony Tucker, all the way from Utah out here. And I know earlier today you had a little bit of a mishap where the bike malfunctioned, but you guys went to work.
Yeah, we went to work. I think we got it figured out. Just trying to forget that. So thanks for the reminder, Rob. No,
I'm here to help.
No, it's all good. I think we got it figured out. I'm excited for the Pro Stock class. Get out there and battle with the boys. I'm feeling good. Bike feels great and having a good time.
Pirelli Pro Stock out there. You know a little bit about that.
Yeah, Pirelli's, greatest tires out here. They got me stuck to the road out here. You know, they're running good. So, yeah, shout out to Pirelli.
Well, best of luck to you, my friend. Have a great day. We'll slide right over here and we'll talk to Clay. Check that, Tony Salima. Tony Salima, come see me, my friend. Get on over here. They call him the godfather of Harleys on the racetrack. He started fooling around with these things probably close to a decade ago, and now he finds himself part of the FDR Shark Law team. Welcome to Hastings.
Oh, thank you very much, Rob. Thanks for having us out here, man. This is an awesome thing. It's so many people out here. We're having so much fun. We appreciate it.
You know, you talk about having a good time, and it is a good time when you're in the paddock and guys are wishing you well. They want to make sure that you're having a good day. You make sure they're having a good day. This is truly a really, really tight community out here.
It is, yeah. Everybody's out here helping everybody. We all want to see everybody out here competing at their best because we want to beat everybody at their best. So I don't know. There's so much love out here. It's awesome. It really is.
Well, we love this guy as well, so we want to wish you good luck out there. Have a great day. Tony Salima. Let's slide back here to Craig Braymiller. Craig, you find yourself in a pretty good spot right here for a good start. You picked up the win in ATU, so you already got the ball rolling.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Just need a good start and try and hang out with these guys. They're flying up there.
You know, you talk about having a good start. It's pretty chaotic up there as guys start to pick lines and waggle through it, and it's being just real consistent that first lap. Then you can go to work.
Yep, yeah, just kind of watch what everybody else is doing, avoid the chaos, and find a clean hole and go for it.
Well, best of luck to you. Have a solid ride out there, Craig Braymiller. We're going to move over here now. We got Emilio. Now, Jeff Lancia, the director over here, he's capturing all the answers as well. All right, Emilio, are you doing triple duty today? Are you racing ATU? Now you're in the Pirelli Pro Stock. Then you're going to do Adventure Cross tonight?
Yeah, I just actually picked up a 2024 Yamaha Tenere AT7 from Bob Weaver Motorsports out in Buffalo, New York. And once Scott told me that you guys were having that adventure bike class, I said I might as well bring it. It's not even broken in yet, but it's what we do. And we want to race it all, so might as well bring it, do it.
That's what we do here. If you have it, you bring it out here. We'll find somewhere for you to race. Best of luck to you this afternoon.
Yep, take it easy.
Let's move over here to Brandon Foley. Now, Brandon Foley has a good friend of ours, that's probably watching, unfortunately, from the horizontal position right now. We want to wish him a speedy recovery, but we want to wish you good luck this afternoon.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Joey. He took a big spill at home. I wish he was here, and yeah, we're stoked to be here. I'm stoked to be out here. The weather's beautiful. We got a good day. You know, it's dry out here, and I'm looking forward to it.
You know, the Performance Machine Crew, along with Suburban Harley Davidson, put this bike together 2 years ago. Jake Masters rode it last year, a dear friend of yours. Now you're riding it this year. This bike has never been beaten in a BRL. No bad juju there.
Nope. Definitely putting some weight on my shoulders there. But there's some fast guys out here. I'm looking forward to getting on the track and see what I can do.
Well, best of luck to you, and again, a speedy recovery for our guy.
Yep, thank you, Rob. Appreciate it.
All right, Brandon Foley here. I got to tear this guy away from his fan base over here, signing autographs over here. Now, lots of road glides, but for you street glide fans out there, we haven't turned their back on them, have we?
No, I couldn't. I didn't want to be like everybody else. That's kind of why I'm here doing this. First off.
Well, the crew is definitely growing out here, isn't it? We're getting more and more bikes.
There's more and more people coming out. This is growing every day.
Well, we want to wish you good luck out there. We know that you enjoy putting in a little battle out there. You'll do some work, and you've actually been here not too long ago, right?
Oh, yeah, I was here last week, actually. I don't think it really helped me a whole lot, though.
He did make the trip out here to get some practice in. Best of luck to you, my man. Let's slide back a row here. I know this guy's got to be close by. Here he's coming. He was hanging out on pit wall over there. All right, carbon fiber all around. This thing is ready, Freddie.
Yeah, it's held together with some zip ties right now from yesterday's off, but it should be ready to go.
You know, you were last year's champion in the Aircooled Twins, and you said, you know what, this is a good time. I'm going to keep doing it, but I want to get on a bagger. That's kind of the real attraction right now, isn't it?
Yeah, the class was huge last year. It's just continued to grow this year, and honestly, I'm enjoying the bagger more than the Sawtail.
Well, if you folks are at home want to make sure you do it, follow these guys on Instagram. The guys from Bowling Green, Harley Davidson, right?
Davidson Bowling Green, yes, sir.
Well, give them a shout out. We want to make sure that you keep an eye on this. This is going to be a great bit of action coming your way. Good luck to you, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
Let's slide on over here to Carl. All right, Carl, got the high vis going, got the road glide going. He was on his street glide last year. Now, if you heard the opening broadcast, Carl's mom and Billy Morris, legendary guitar player, put together a theme song for us. So now we've got music, we've got more riders, we got a little bit of everything here.
Yeah, I just love seeing more and more riders show up. It's incredible, and man, so much fun out here.
Good starts have been your kind of forte.
Yeah, I like to get out front and try to, if I can make up a couple seconds right away. We're all just a couple tenths of a second apart, so getting out front or away from some of these guys, hopefully I can hold them off. There's a lot of fast guys, great competition, and this is going to be a good race.
Well, best of luck to you. Have a solid ride out there. Sliding back over here. Now, I had the opportunity to spend some time with this guy. Come on up in the front a little bit. He spent quite a bit of time in the world of distribution and things like that. Then you got your own bike shop now. You're working You're like a madman.
Yeah, we stay busy back in Sioux City, Iowa. We got a big shop, and we got a lot going on with a small crew.
Now, you were telling me a lot of these bikes are an 09 and up chassis, which would put the bigger tire on the back. You're like, no, I'm going skinny tire.
Yeah, we're 5-speed or die. We got 06, skinny tire, 5-speed bike.
That's all you need sometimes, isn't it?
Well, I think it might be the only advantage we have is the 5-speed. It's not going to break on us.
What do we want to do to make sure that the people at home can get involved with this? Do they just call your shop?
Yeah, they can call our shop, and then you know, if you actually, I think a lot of people are intimidated, but if you give them a rundown of what's actually on this bike, it's the same stuff we sell out of the shop. They could come out here and do it themselves.
That's what the whole mission was, get the aftermarket involved, because they'll make a good bike way better.
Right, exactly. We hope to see everybody out here.
Well, best of luck to you.
Thanks, Rob.
You have a good day. Speaking of reps, we just had one there. Now we're lined up right next to another one here. I'm going to slide in here real quick for you. Sorry. Here, you come up around me too. All right. So Mike Corey comes from the far East Coast here, one of our farthest East Coast competitors. He comes from the Carolinas. He made the trip out to California. He's currently 5th in points in the Barnett Super Street class. And what's the plan for this weekend?
Plan is just put my head down and just try to do what I can do. You know, I mean, late break people, follow some of the faster guys, and hopefully pick out a faster line than what I've been doing all weekend so far.
You know, you talk about putting your head down. You're talking about putting your head down behind this Memphis Shades BRL race bubble right here, right?
Correct. That is a godsend when it comes to these windshields. The problem that we had before was there was nothing to block us. I mean, and it was all distorted. It was a mess. And with the Memphis Shades windshield, it helps out a lot to tuck up and get aerodynamic.
If you folks are interested, you grab the Fat Book from Drag Specialties at any participating dealer, and you can order this up. Have a good ride out there, my friend.
Thank you, Rob. I appreciate it.
Mike Corey down here hanging out. Let's slide on over here to Joe Beavers. Come on up here, my man. So Joe Beavers is a stunt rider, an entrepreneur, a powder coater, all-around good guy, and he put this bike together literally less than 35 hours ago to make the trip out here from Wisconsin.
I think it's like 15 hours, but yeah, we got it together. I took 9 hours to get here, so we got it together 9 hours before that.
No rest for the weary, right?
No, we'll rest all week when we get home. Yeah.
What you're talking about getting home, you get home, back to work, and then all of a sudden you get ready to head to Gingerman. That will be our next stop on the BRL Tour. That's going to be a lot closer to home for you.
Yeah, that's just a hop, skip over to the pond there, you know. I could sleep in then.
One of the things that I saw you participate in with your daughter earlier was the fan lap. And if the people haven't been out to a race yet, that's an amazing experience to get the family together, grab a bike, put a helmet on, and ride around this racetrack.
For sure, man. This was great about the BRL. It's such a family-oriented event. You know, bring all ages to come out and play around. And, you know, if you get a chance to take the parade lap, take it with your, jump on your dad's bike, back seat moms, whoever's there, and let the kids enjoy the track because, once you go around the track, you basically respect everything that's going on, and then it's a whole new world when you start watching it from the sideline and you know how tight some of those corners are.
Well, a lot of respect for this guy. Put the bike together, made the long drive, brought the kid out here with him. Now he's getting ready to do battle. So best of luck to you, Joe Beavers. We're going to slide back here to the rest of the paddock. My man Jace right here. One of the most colorful bikes out here. He's the second member of the Tucker Speed team. I'm going to get it right around the backside of your generator right here. Hey, good to have you out here.
Hey, it's been a blast, man. Learning this track, still learning the racing side, but having a blast, Rob.
We were hanging out, I believe it was Willow Springs last year, and at the time, you were working hard. You were helping everybody get ready to go, and over the time, you and Tony said, wait, maybe you need to be out there competing, so you're the second member of the Tucker Speed team.
Yeah, I'm just blessed to be working at that shop, working with Tony. We've got a great family there, great group of guys. Wish everybody could be out there. Fred, Steve, Jake. And Jake just had a baby, so congrats on that, bro. Miss you guys. Thanks for everything.
Giving shouts out to the families that are around the country. Jace, have a great ride. Bobby Parker, stand on up here, my friend. Now, you guys remember the name Shredder Bob / Bob Parker? It was just a short time ago. I think during your videos today, we showed some of that pass from Willow Springs back in the day.
That was a good one. That was a great one. That was a lot of fun.
Now, let me give you a little background on this. So the guy comes to Gingerman, where we'll be heading in a month. Last year, you ripped the motor out of another bike to put it in another bike so that is there anything you guys won't do to get ready to battle?
Oh, it was definitely a big race weekend. So we drove home. I live about 2.5 hours from Gingerman. We actually pulled this S&S crate motor out of my Dyna that was sitting in the garage, my old race bike before I went to an M8, drove it up to the track. Scott stayed up all night, put it into this bike now. We've converted it into a super street bike, and I'm trying to figure out how to ride a bagger.
They are a little bit different, aren't they?
It's certainly a lot different than riding the Softails. So we're knocking some rust off, and we're getting faster every session, but we're trying to do the best we can.
Well, best of luck to you, my friend. Have a good race out there.
Fantastic. Thank you.
That's the lineup down here trackside. This is our fan walk. Now, we have the Andrews Bagger GP, the Pirelli Pro Stock, and the Barnett Super Street. The field is set. We're going to clean the race fans off the grid, pull the tire warmers, and we'll be ready to go with the final race of day number 1 here from Hastings Raceway. Stop number 3 of the Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers, presented by Memphis Shades.
Thanks, Rob. Great stuff catching up with each and every one of our riders. A party going on down on the grid right now, and there are parties going on across this entire globe, let alone the US of A. We've got Newcastle Harley-Davidson with a watch party going on. And then wait a second, Hollywood Dave, who is this motley crew that you have behind you? What is going on?
Hey, I am here at Lifestyle Cycles in Anaheim, California, and I'm here. Got the owner, Junior, right behind me, and just some of the guys. We've got over 100 people watching the BRL just outside of this office here. We've got Junior brought in pulled pork sandwiches for everybody. We've got beer. We've got everything going. We're having a great party. And these guys, what do you guys think of the racing so far, guys?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right?
We're
We're having a good time right here. And guys, Lifestyle Cycles is a big part of bagger racing, and you're going to see them out on the track. I think one of our weeks coming up, just kind of a rumor, but we'll see. They're a great place to bring your bike, and of course, so much support. They've got a riding club of over 4,200 people, and they're always doing events here, but nothing like the Bagger Racing League watch party that I've got around me. So these are the guys I get to hang out with. Woo! Come on, guys. What do you think?
Awesome stuff going on, and a huge shout out to Lifestyle Cycles for being a part of BRL 2025. It's just about time. The final green flag of the day left to fall, but before we get to that, we got one more quick commercial break to get to, and then when we come back, we'll drop the flag on the final race of the day. Once again, this is the 2025 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers presented by Memphis Shades. We'll be right back.
Sending you my bill. Thank you, buddy.
Bridgestone's reintroducing their Supermoto tires here in the United States and Canada. That's the BMO1 front and the RO2 rear. It's available in a 16.5 inch as well as a 17-inch configuration. The Racing Battle Axe is a non-DOT tire, and we definitely recommend tire warmer. Time's the only thing in life that money can't buy, but you can buy Bridgestones.
it's Cody Gilmore, the 2024 Bagger Racing League Pro Stock Champion. So I want to thank Ultra Cool for keeping our bikes cool and running awesome all year.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to round 3 of the 2025 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers, presented by Memphis Shades. Zach Heron alongside Dave Dildine to bring you the final race of the day. We've got our Andrews Products Bagger GP class with Cody Gilmore and Drew Jankard in it as well. We've got our Barnett Clutches and Cables Super Street classes with, look at this lineup, Mike Corey, Philip Doty, Brendan Foley, Sean Hoffman, Jake McGuire, Jason Owens, Robert Parker, Nick Solomon, and Carl Schlack, as well as our Pirelli Pro Stock class, going to round out the field with Clay Braun, Craig Braymiller, Tyler Elliott, Emilio Jimenez, Jake Masters, Anthony Salima, Daniel Spina, Tony Tucker, and Travis Wurz. We've got a full grid, Dave, and this is the perfect way to close out day 1 of racing.
This is what we've been waiting for. We've got them all on the track, and each of these bikes take up a lot of room, and it's going to be amazing to see these big baggers out on the track together. We're going to have some great racing in this one.
Well, the warm-up lap is just about complete. Riders taking their spots on the grid and making those last final bits of preparation. We talked about this in our opening weekend as well. Those final few moments of just those last few deep breaths, the last words of encouragement from your team, and then you flip the visor down, and it's time to go do battle.
These guys are all business right now, and they're just waiting for that flag to drop, and we're going to see some amazing racing strategies going through their head right now, getting ready to go.
Taking a look, looks like it is that Andrews Performance Products Bagger GP class leading the grid with Cody Gilmore and Drew Jankard 1 and 2. And then just behind them, you see Danny Spina in that mix as well. He's looking to do some battle, tied on points with Jake Masters as the green flag is up. And we are racing. Here we go, the final race of the day, for day 1 of round number 3.
Absolutely. And
looks like that's Gilmore leading them into turn 1, taking over the early race lead. And then watch out for the number 9 of Jake Masters as well, who I believe just moved into that number 2 spot.
Yes, he did, and just looking really smooth and sharp through there. Boy, Cody's just looking great, just showing his skill right through those turns. Look at how close some of these guys are, just trying to figure out their positioning.
Oh, and we saw a couple of riders bumping and banging as well, so we did have some contact being made by a few of our riders, as we know how urgently these riders want to try to get to the front, especially when they see some of the heavy hitters like Gilmore and Masters already starting to slip away.
Especially some of those guys that last month in Chuckwalla had some horrific crashes and are needing points. So this is all about points in this race, and there's some people that are hungry and hunting for them.
Well, can't forget, Cody Gilmore was one of those riders that did go down as well. Didn't necessarily just completely derail his finish, but look at this. I want to try to figure out who that rider was that made a pass along the outside. Taking a look, that might be either Clay Braun or Tony Salima. Definitely looks like one of those FDR rides.
Yes, it does. I think that might have been Clay. Clay is just dialed in, and he is ready to go. He's been excited all week, waiting for this race to get on that track. He's got that new bike under him, and just amazing ride. He's got some power at all portions of this track.
Man, look at how close these guys are getting as they check in for lap 1 complete. It is Cody Gilmore out front leading the way in that Andrews Performance Products Bagger GP class. Jake Masters leads the way, or is in the number 2 spot, I should say, on the number 9. That is Tony Salima in the 3rd place spot with Jankard, and then Clay Braun rounding out the top 5. Danny Spina back in the 6th place spot. Maybe going to be a little bit frustrated with that, knowing the rider he's tied in points with is in that number 2 position.
Between Cody and Jake Masters, there's a half a tenth of a second between these two. That's incredible. They're both running 137s. Just some great times being posted right here. Nice drone shot.
Yeah, great look on our Wild Boar Audio live drone as our leaders starting to break away. And this is kind of one of the things that I had circled as far as questions coming into round 3 was, could Cody Gilmore get that Bagger GP bike figured out? We saw him go undefeated in 2024. Really seemed like he was super comfortable. And then that opening weekend this year just wasn't jiving with the bike. Still had plenty of speed, but you could tell the comfort wasn't quite there. Now he's out front and he's looking mighty comfortable.
He really is. He's just got perfect lines going through these, and everybody behind is just trying to keep up. Hoping he makes a mistake. I don't see that happening, though. He is running a clean race right now.
And look at this battle right now as Danny Spina caught in between the 2 FDR riders of Clay Braun and Tony Salima in the mix of it, as now Clay Braun has actually jumped into the number 3 spot. Salima had made the pass for 4th for just a split second before Spina got right back around, headed into turn number 1. Now he's applying the pressure to the back of Clay Braun.
He really is, and boy, you know that Clay just did a head check right there. Remember, he did that a little bit before his accident in Chuckwalla, so he's hearing the motor right behind him. Knows he's got to stretch it out a little bit. He's just got to make sure he doesn't push it too hard in those corners.
Well, and that was something that we saw as well, wasn't necessarily the riders that were super far out of position or trying to make up a ton of time. It was once they started to get close, when they could smell blood in the water, that was when they started pushing just a little bit more and stepping across that line and possibly even finding themselves on the ground. So Spina and Braun right now are in a very unique position. One's playing offense, one's playing defense, but they can't let worrying about the other riders stop them from hitting their marks out here on this NGA Sport.
You really do have to ride your own ride and be focused on what you have to do, because when you don't, that is when the mistakes happen. We saw that in Chuckwalla quite a few times. You're absolutely right. It was often somebody trying to make up just a little bit too much, getting a little too greedy with their track position and trying to get more than a tenth of a second or just a little bit in the corners, and forgetting how dangerous some of these corners can be.
Man, taking a look, great view there of the kind of line variance in turn 13. You saw Spina cut back underneath, a drag race down the front stretch, almost pulled up alongside Clay Braun, but Braun able to close the door as they headed back into turn number 1. So it is still Gilmore, Masters, Braun, Spina, and Salima 1 through 5, with Tony Tucker now moving into that 6th place position. Brendan Foley just behind him on the number 29. Once again, we see a little look over from Braun there.
There he is. Jake Masters just ran a 1:33. That's the fastest time we've had so far in this race.
Yeah,
great lap time.
1:33.062 is Gilmore's fastest. It was a 33.039, so a couple of tenths faster. Once again, we see these guys splitting hairs as far as the difference between the top of the field.
And that's where it's so dangerous, because if you just make one little mistake, it may not cause a crash, but it might cost you a tenth of a second, and that may be all it takes to lose the race.
Yeah, as far as mistakes go, these riders have to be almost picture perfect if they want a chance to grab the win, as Gilmore puts another solid 133 in the books, a 133.7, but Masters starting to close the gap up as he was a 133.4, 3 tenths faster on that last lap. So Masters now starting to reel back in the 374 of Cody Gilmore, and possibly looking to overtake the physical lead on track.
It's all about not getting too greedy. He's just got to keep in his race and keep his lines clear and come up just a little bit each lap. There's still a few laps to go, so he's got time. He just needs to not get overly aggressive to where he goes off the track, but still keep him within sight and just little bits here at a time.
Well, and don't forget, Dave, both of these riders are rookies in their respective classes. Jake Masters going undefeated in Super Street and moving up to that Pro Stock class. Meanwhile, Gilmore, he was undefeated in Pro Stock, now jumps up to the Big Bagger GP class. So both of these riders trying out some new bikes, learning some new things, and clearly picking up some strong pointers as they are both leading their classes at the moment. Gilmore out in the front of that Bagger GP class. and then Jake Masters now leading the way in the Pirelli Pro Stock class.
And I think we just had a really well-executed pass right over there. Here we are coming around with turn 13. Just want to take that real cautiously. Don't want to lose the race right there. Look at the lean angles right there.
Man. And the amount of commitment that takes as well. That's something that we hear a lot of these riders talk about is they know what to do. They're just, quite frankly, they're a little too scared to do it. And it is so impressive to watch these top riders not necessarily throw caution to the wind, but so calculated with the way their body positioning is. It really is impressive to see how much control they have over these machines, as Gilmore now still 1.85 seconds in front of Jake Masters.
You're absolutely right. The control that they have is incredible. Back in Chuckwalla, when we saw the lifestyle cycles with Frankie Garcia, he actually cut the foot pegs in half, and as he rode, he actually rubbed off the side of each of his shoes on both sides. That's how close he was as he was riding around that track. These guys are doing an incredible lean angle with a bagger, and that is so difficult. And yet these guys make it look easy. It's incredible.
Man, look at this. Danny Spina and Clay Braun still going at it once again. Spina in the number 3 spot. Braun now back to 4th as the 199 moving his way forward. And he's actually running a bit faster of a lap time. Danny Spina is in both of your leaders at the moment. 134.7 on that last lap for the 199 of Danny Spina. Look at this. Braun.
Wow.
Working with those outsides, riding just off the rear wheel of the 199.
That is a great way to get into somebody's head. You just stay right off the back wheel, not able to shake them. You're just trying to wear them down.
I like what I'm seeing from the 199, or I should say what I'm not seeing. I'm not a huge fan of the glancing back. It's one thing from time to time, but we saw Braun start to make a bit of a habit of it, whereas Danny Spina, he's locked in, focused ahead. Trust me, he is more than aware that Clay Braun is back there, but he's focusing forward on what he needs to do to try to open that gap up rather than worrying about the line that Clay's taking.
Absolutely. You do have to run your own race, and if you let somebody else get in your head, that can really mess with you. So you've got to just run your own race. Make sure you're watching your lines and hitting those lines each and every time. You're running as fast as you can, nobody's going to catch you. You've got to have that mindset.
Yeah, these guys have to just focusing out of getting 100% out of what they can do rather than worrying about what the other riders are capable of. As we get into the second half of this race, I believe 8 laps here in this final race of the day. Cody Gilmore trying to bring things home as now he has significantly opened that gap up on Jake Masters. Take a look at the lap time chart, and Masters a pretty bad lap on that last one, a 139, which is it's not a bad lap, but for Jake Masters especially, that has now allowed 7.6 seconds to open up between himself and Cody Gilmore. Meanwhile, the white flag is waving. It's the final lap of racing.
Once again, you can see that lean angle as they're coming in, getting ready. This is the lap you want to truly make sure you've got your best speed going, but at the same time, you do not want to go over that edge and have any kind of an accident right here at your last lap.
Yeah, if there's a time to make a move, if you've been saving up a secret passing spot, this is the time that you've got to go for it. But just like you said, Dave, don't throw away a decent race trying to make this something incredible. So many of these riders in for the big picture. They need the points at the end of the season. The last thing they can handle is another DNF or maybe their first of the season. So let's see if we can find our leader, Cody Gilmore, making his way around less than a lap remaining as he tries to add a Bagger GP win to the resume. Jake Masters going to try to cross the line in that number 2 spot, but take a win in his respective class. They're in that Pirelli Pro Stock class. And in that Super Street, that Barnett Clutches and Cable Super Street class, might be Foley out front leading the way in that one on the 29. But let's take a look coming into the final corner. 374 going to check up a little bit, let the white go, and there it is. Checker flag flies for the 374 of Cody Gilmore. Going to grab the win in your Andrews Performance Products Bagger GP class.
Beautiful race, well done. Boy, these baggers are extremely. You don't really realize on television that these guys are doing 145 miles an hour in some of those back straights. Yeah, they are just so fast and hitting those corners so hard. It is constantly acceleration and braking. And these guys have done an amazing job. Look at these guys coming around.
Absolutely incredible. Masters does cross the line in the number 2 spot. Looked like that was Danny Spina just behind him with Clay Braun. And then Tony Salima rounding out the top 5, crossing the line. Don't forget, we did have 3 different classes, our Andrews Bagger GP, our Barnett Clutches and Cable Super Street, as well as our Pirelli Pro Stock classes, all out on track at the same time. So we'll have 3 podium celebrations coming up here in just a little bit. So right
that's
now,
one of the...
Go ahead, Dave, sorry.
I was going to say that's one of the great things, that if you're looking to actually move up a class and you're just kind of getting started in bagger racing, you may be on the track with people that are in the category above you.
Yeah, the next level could be right there on track with you. Let's take a look at how the final race of the day went down with our Alpine Stars race replay. Chaos right off the jump is some riders moving up, some riders shuffling back, but it would be Cody Gilmore grabbing the early race lead, and then Jake Masters making a couple of quick moves to get up into that number 2 spot. Then the battle was on. Danny Spina, Clay Braun, and Tony Salima, a battle royale as Spina fighting with the 2 FDR teammates, back and forth, all for that final podium spot. But meanwhile, at the front of the field, stretching it out to just over 14 seconds, Cody Gilmore takes the win and gets that Andrews Performance Products Bagger GP win. Jake Masters is going to cross the line just behind him. It will be Danny Spina crossing the line in the number 3 spot. Clay Braun and Tony Salima, your top 5. Tony Tucker, Brendan Foley, Craig Braymiller, Jake McGuire, and Tyler Elliott, your top 10. Physically on track for our final race of the day.
Once again, that was worth waiting for. That was just a great race. So good to see. This is what bagger racing is all about, and seeing all these guys on the track, beautiful racing.
Watching your winner right there, Cody Gilmore, taking the gear off, getting that bike set up on the stand, and we'll be getting ready to kick off a podium celebration here in just a few minutes. Already breaking things down with the team. Wouldn't be surprised if he's already trying to figure out ways he wants to adjust this bike for tomorrow's racing. And don't forget, of course, we will be back live here on Racer TV tomorrow as well for round number 4, doubleheader weekend out at Motorsports Park Hastings. So several of these riders, maybe you missed out on that top step, weren't able to perform at 100% today, Dave. You can always get it reset and come out swinging tomorrow.
And that is one of the great things about a weekend like this. This is Memorial Day weekend, and of course, there's going to be some momentous races that we're seeing, and so that's it's very exciting. Great weekend, and you're absolutely right. You've got any issues of today, you can come back tomorrow and get them all corrected. And what these guys will be doing all night tonight is they will be working on the bikes, figuring things out, changing suspension, adjusting whatever. You heard one of our guys talking about just changing out the brake fluid. Getting a higher quality brake fluid in. You know, you're hitting the brakes so very hard as you're driving into these corners that everything's got to be right, and one little adjustment can make the difference between winning and losing.
Yeah, it is the most finite details that separate the winner from those that are finding themselves off the podium, or maybe not even able to make it all the way to the finish. We've seen these riders push the machines to the absolute limits as well. But, man, great stuff as Jake Masters goes up to chat with Cody Gilmore. Some great riding from both of them. Seems like Gilmore and Masters both found a new level of comfort here today on those machines, and that could be bad news for the rest of the field.
Absolutely, that was a pretty amazing race, pretty flawless. Just every corner just seemed to be just right on, and the times were just great. Cody had a 1:33.062 for his fastest time. Ended up with a 1:35, so he was right in the zone with a 2-second difference between his best time and his last one. So he was running consistent all the way through.
All right, so getting our bikes set up on the podium here, and we are just about ready to kick off these podium celebrations. Going to be a ton of fun as our ringleader Rob Bitus there kind of corralling all the riders, the teams. Everybody's trying to break into the after party already. Says, hang on a second, we got interviews to do. And got all kinds of fun activities going on this afternoon as well. This is just the tip of the iceberg. If you're there in person, we've got pit bike racing going on later this afternoon, as well as adventure bike racing as well. This is something really unique that the BRL has introduced, and you guys can find out more information on that on their social media channels at Bagger Racing League. But really interested and excited to see the participation and kind of what people have to say about that as well there for those adventure bike rides. And then who doesn't love some good old pit bike racing? You know that's going to be a ton of fun. And Dave?
They will have a great time doing that. And, you know, there's so many characters in the Bagger Racing League. And, you know, you get those characters out on a pit bike, you know it's going to be a lot of fun. They're going to bring the circus to town tonight when they're doing that pit bike racing. That's going to be a lot of fun.
All right. Well, it looks like we are just about ready to send things down to the podium to Rob Bitus standing by with your Andrew Performance Products Bagger GP podium.
Well, gang, here we are down on the podium with the Andrews Bagger GP. First of all, I got to ask all you race fans, did you enjoy the action that you just seen here at day one of the BRL? Drew, come on up here on the podium with me, my friend. The pole position was amazing. The start wasn't exactly. Then I started to see you go to work, and you come by the finish line, and you had a little bit of a malfunction. But there's no quit in the Alloy Art team. They got you fixed back up. You got back up, and you finished 2 spot.
Yeah, I can't thank those guys enough because we had a good spot on the grid. The start was a little bit rough. There was a little bit of chaos there in turn 2 right out of the gate. But felt like I was able to make up a little bit of ground, pick off a couple guys, and was possibly making a charge. And then had a little bit of mechanical, came in, explained it to the guys, and Robbie and Justin assessed it, fixed it, got me back out there, able to finish the race.
Nice work out there. I know that this is only day one of a doubleheader weekend, so you've got a lot of work to do tonight. And I know these guys, they will thrash, get this thing ready to go, and it'll be better than it was tomorrow when they get ready to go.
Absolutely. We're going to come out tomorrow strong and hope to give it a good go.
Well, congratulations. Mayor, we got some hardware for this gentleman right here. All right. Now, last year when we were here, I didn't think that the fan base for you could get any bigger up on the balcony up there at the chalets. The entire Gilmore posse was up on the hill up there. Did you hear them cheering you on?
Yeah, I could definitely hear and see people cheering me on. These Harleys are loud and I wear earplugs, so maybe tomorrow they can bring some air horns or something and light it up. But man, it's awesome seeing all my friends and family out here. You know, I grew up about 4 or 5 hours from here, so a lot of people made the trip down from Iowa and spent some time in Omaha also, living there for a few years. So a bunch of friends that I ended up meeting are able to make it out. So it's awesome for them to come out and check out Bagger Racing and still support their boy. And even though I live in Texas now, so awesome to have everyone out. Thanks for coming out, braving the rain and the weather. And man, hopefully tomorrow's like this.
All right, let's wrap up this weekend a little bit here. You took the win in the metric bagger class and in the twins, so you're now the points leader in that. You and Ruben Zaus were neck and neck in the Andrews Bagger GP, which, by the way, the winner of that class at the end of the year gets the Fred Fox Cup, the most prestigious award that we hand out here. And now you've been able to put that in the win column as well. This has been a big day one for you here at Hastings.
Yeah, it's anytime I can cross the finish line, it's a good time. So California, the last month didn't go too well for us. I ended up crashing this bike twice. So the Suburban team had a lot of work to do back this last month getting this thing ready. And man, we were up to the last few minutes of the race or before the race today working on stuff and trying to get it going. So thanks to them, man, they got me a good bike running out there, and I was able to at least throw down some hard laps. And yeah, we miss Ruben. Ruben taught me a lot last year, but he's over in BRL Europe, and hopefully he can send us an invite to get over to Europe, because I'm ready to go over there and do some racing too.
Like what we're hearing over here. Mayor, we got some hardware for the winner, Cody Gilmore. Gang, this is the Andrews Bagger GP Podium. How about a nice round of applause for these riders? We'll be back in just a moment with the Pirelli Pro Stock Podium. Then we'll have the Barnett Super Street. Folks, we'll be back down here Podium in just a minute. Let's send it back into the studio.
All right, thanks, Rob. Yeah, great stuff down there from the Podium. And just like Cody Gilmore was talking about, Ruben Zaus not racing with us here this weekend in Nebraska, but he is at the first ever round of Bagger Racing League Europe out in Cremona, Italy. Incredible stuff going on out there, and incredible to see BRL starting to take a worldwide interest. We had some races in Canada last year, where we've got BRL Europe taking off this season, as well as BRL Australia. Incredible stuff, and man, I can't wait to watch everything that went down in Cremona here today and here this weekend for BRL Europe Round 1.
It's a worldwide phenomenon. It is amazing. We're seeing people getting into Bagger Racing League from all over the world. And Europe, known for incredible racing culture, very much into this, putting full-size baggers out on the track, and I'm excited to see what these tracks are going to be like for the BRL Europe.
Well, and on top of that, to have some of the riders that we've come to know and love here at BRL helping establish and create that series as well, I think that just shows, I know we keep talking about the family part of it, but I mean, there's not a lot of series where you see the riders creating new ways for the series to grow and spread across the world. So that just shows how much all of the sacrifices and everything that Rob and the entire Bagger Racing League crew has done, how much it means to the riders as well, because they want to try to find a way to give back to BRL and keep this thing not only going, but growing as well.
And yes, the riders are not just riders, they're ambassadors. And they are spreading the news of Bagger Racing League every time that they race. And we are seeing more and more fans coming from all over the world. And the more popular this becomes, the bigger it's going to be. And Zach, you and I are here at the beginning. It's great to see it.
Hey, absolutely. Yeah, the 5th year of Bagger Racing League here in 2025, and things only looking brighter from here. But it looks like down at the podium standing by is Rob Bitus. Rob, we'll send it down to you.
Well, folks, we're down here on the podium once again. This is the Pirelli Pro Stock class, and what a battle we had out there. Clay Braun, a great start, great run early on, and you finish yourself up on the podium. This is how championships start to be won. You got to be consistent. You have to pick up the points every time you're out there, and every time you're on the podium, you get one step closer.
That's 100% right, man. I just honestly, being up here is a dream come true. Last year, I wasn't even racing. My teammate Tony Sleeman was filling in for me. So for me to come up here and take the same third place he took last year while I was hurt, and for me to just fill in for him right now and grabbing a third place for the team, it's a dream come true, man.
You know, you talk about the team and the FDR crew, they come out in style, man. They do it right, whether it's the pit shirts, whether it's the big trailer. The support they give you guys is truly second to none.
Yeah, dude, on and off the track, you know, FDR Foundation is here for down riders with catastrophic motorcycle injuries. So, you know, this is a huge way for us to spread the word, and honestly, in a safe way. These guys up here are some of the fastest guys, and I'm so glad to show the track with them, because I'd rather be doing this than, you know, unsafe on the street. So I really encourage everyone to come out here and do this.
Well, congratulations, a great ride. Day one, we got another day to go tomorrow. What's the plan for tomorrow?
So I hope it rains, because I love the rain. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it's the same thing. You know, we're going to end today good and start today good tomorrow and end it good also. So it's good, clean family fun, party on Harleys.
Well, congratulations. The mayor's got some hardware for you. Yeah, come on down here. Danny Spina, tied for the points lead coming in, and this is kind of the way it started just a week ago. The second place finish was not what you wanted, but you started to make a big push there at the end.
Yeah, again, I'm really struggling with my starts. Just couldn't make it happen, and then made a ton of mistakes, and was trying to recover and not lose too much ground. So just continue to grind, get some clear track, and focus on making as little mistakes as possible to try to salvage what I could.
Well, you certainly salvaged a great finish out there, a great ride. I think the crowd around the place was really starting to see the battle heat up, and that gets everybody fired up. Congratulations on putting it on the podium once again.
Absolutely, thank you. And I'd like to thank, again, my family for allowing me to be here, pushing me. I'd like to thank National City Harley-Davidson for giving me an incredible bike to go out, spin laps safely. I'd like to thank Excellence Moto Detail, fueling parts, Motool, Shifter Crew, Turning Kings, Bamco, everybody. That's the reason I'm here.
Well, congratulations, Mayor. We got some hardware for the second place here. Danny Spina picking up the number 2 spot. Picking up the win here on the Suburban Sly Fox Harley-Davidson. Jake Masters all the way from Australia. You were even giving souvenirs back to the track out there.
Oh, wow, that was a race. First few laps were awesome. The bike was feeling good, and then I felt that seat come loose, and I'm like, oh, no. I've got some recovery to do. So, yeah, it was a very, very tough race. Every time I look back, I seen the boys are closing corner on corner on corner. I was like, when's that white flag coming out? Because I need it now. But, no, it was good. It was a good race. Cody was riding good. I was glad to see Cody get out there. Clay's back on the bike after a big off from the last round. He rode really well. Danny's riding good. So it's going to be a really good race tomorrow. If you're not here coming tomorrow, I'll definitely come because there's going to be some battling.
Well, congratulations. I know that the gang from Sly Fox and Suburban help you. Who else?
Yeah, Sly Fox and Suburban, thanks to Joe, the whole team, Jake, Sean, Ben, everyone puts in a big part here. I'd just like to say a big thank you to the whole team. That's why we're here and why we can have so much fun.
Well, congratulations, Mayor. We got one more piece of hardware to hand out. This is the Pirelli Pro Stock class. Gentlemen, hop up onto the podium up there, and let's get that close-up for you. Gang, once again, the Pirelli Pro Stock class. When we come back, we will have the Barnett Super Street Podium. That'll be a wrap once we're done with that. Then, for the race fans that are here, don't forget we've got the pit bike race coming up, and then we've got Adventure Cross, the first time ever. How about a big round of applause for the top 3 in the Pirelli Pro Stock? We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Absolutely incredible stuff going on down there at the podium, the Pirelli Pro Stock top 3. And hey, our next rounds coming up is rounds 5 and 6 out in South Haven, Michigan. And interesting enough, Dave, we were talking about this a little bit off camera. The track designer for the track we have here at Motorsports Park Hastings, as well out at South Haven, it's the same track designer. So there's a lot of similarities as far as the feel and flow of these courses. And we saw this last year as well. A lot of the riders that were kind of grooving with this track in Nebraska, man, they feel right at home in Michigan as well.
That's true. And so that means that if you are dialed in this weekend, you've got a great weekend, you should be dialed in next month as well. So rounds 5 and 6 should be even better than 3 and 4 because you've got very similar tracks. But it also means that if you're having trouble with this track this weekend, you better get ready for Michigan because that's coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to be June 28th and 29th, and of course we will be showing that live on Racer TV as well. But yeah, just like you said, Dave, if things are not going your way this weekend, man, you better pull out the pen and paper and get to work because you could quickly turn a bad round into 4 bad rounds if you let that trend continue. So no panic yet so far. I'm sure a lot of these riders, minor tweaks here and there, but most of the time it seems like they have a pretty good idea as to what it is they need to adjust by the time they get off the track. So we'll be chatting with them. And man, look at this. Looks like the 29 able to keep that undefeated streak alive. If you remember last year, that was the 51 machine belonging to Jake Masters and was passed down, turned into the 29, and still finds itself in the center of that Barnett Clutches and Cables Super Street class. So going to be fun to catch up with all of them on the podium coming up next. And of course, like I said a little bit earlier in the program, If you guys are not already, make sure you're following the Bagger Racing League on social media as well, at Bagger Racing League on Instagram. And then if you have any questions, if you've got any curiosity, if you're curious, hey, I've got a bike, I don't know if I could race it though, what class could I race it in? Go to baggerracingleague.com for all of the class breakdowns as far as what bikes are allowed, how you can use them, and where you go to line up for the next round of Bagger Racing League. But for now, the racing's done. It is all podium celebration times. Is making the last, taking the last little bit here. Then we're going to toss it down to Rob Bitus for that final podium of the day. Our Barnett Clutches and Cables Super Street class. And as always, Rob, shaking hands, kissing babies. That's what comes along with being the kind of the mastermind behind the Bagger Racing League. And he's calling all the kids in, which means it's time to send it down to Rob Bitus standing by at the podium.
All right, gang, we're down here on the podium. This is the Barnett Super Street Podium. Third place in the first day of competition here, Carl Schlack. Carl, another good start, another podium ride as we kept going.
That was a wild ride. You know, that's a lot of baggers out there. And I tried to come through the pack a little bit, but got hung up. I had a couple good battles there with those guys, and felt like I had a little bit of clutch issues, so I kind of just settled into third after Jake passed me back, and just kind of made sure I finished. So we're going to get back and look at that, and looking forward to racing tomorrow.
Well, we got some good weather on the forecast tomorrow. I know that you got a big list of sponsors here. Let's make sure we recognize them.
Yeah, hog halters. For all those components you need. Bridgestone keeping me grippy and staying on the track out there, fueling parts. Alloy Art, Crooked Clubhouse, Bitubo Suspension, Moto Zilly, Keith, Chris. What's up, guys? Lincoln Oliver, River, Maggie, True Blue, watch trueblue.com, Aiden Custom, 77 Cycles, Blood, Lubricants. I mean, there's so many, Rob. Like, we can't do it on our own, and we appreciate Chance Darling with Barnett sponsoring this class. Original Garage, I wish those guys were here, but we got some of their parts on here, and Rurock helmets, and of course you for getting this all going and getting us out here. What a day.
All right, Carl, the mayor's got some hardware for you. Finishing third place, Carl Schlack on the HHI Road Glide. Man, you just keep battling. You just keep fighting. It's not a good start. That's nothing. You just keep fighting through. Nice work.
I appreciate it. That was a really fun one. Had a couple close calls out there. Emilio, I'm sorry for almost running into you, but I'm glad he was able to keep it up, and me too. One of the biggest bagger fields to ever take a green flag. We were over 20 bikes on the grid right there, and that's a traffic jam, isn't it? Yeah, it was pretty packed out there, but it made it exciting. It was a really good time.
Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, absolutely. My wife and daughter for being here, packing her around. She's had the baby all weekend, just kind of doing the single mother thing while I'm out having fun. But Harley Davidson Bowling Green, Death Metal Racing, Legend Suspension, Ultra Cool, G-Brake, Speed Farm, Revolution Performance, Fastline Track Days, RC Components, Ratty Fab, and Thundermax, and At Van Black.
Nice work out there. Congratulations, Mayor. Come on in here. And we had an opportunity to talk to this gentleman on the hot pit out there. You were kind of riding for a buddy out there, weren't you, today?
Yeah, man. I mean, we got one of our boys at home. Joey went down, and he's in the hospital. So, I hope he's doing good. We're missing him. So I wish he was out here. But shout out to all the boys back home holding it down, so I can come out here and have some fun.
So the Suburban Harley Senders Only Performance Machine crew over here, they built you quite a hot rod out here. This thing again has still never been beat.
I know. Jake, swept the whole class last year on this bike, so he put a lot of pressure on me, and I'm just out here pushing this bike and having fun. This thing is dialed in. The whole Suburban Harley team has this thing so dialed in. It's a good time.
Well, it's a great time to see you out there. Another hard-fought value. Mayor, come on in here as we get the Barnett Super Street Podium. Chance, why don't you come on here and stand on the podium with these guys so we could get the series sponsor with you up here. We'll get one with just the True, and then we'll get one with Chance Darling down here up on the podium as well. One more time, a nice round of applause for the Barnett Super Street Podium here. Chance, come on in here real quick. Get up there next to Foley on the top step. This is Chance Darling from Barnett. Give him a nice round of applause, if you would. So this is Rob Bitas from the Drag Specialties Battle of Baggers presented by Memphis Shades. I'm throwing it back into the studio for you guys to wrap it up.
All right. Thanks, Rob. Great job down there on the podium. And once again, congratulations to all of our podium finishers here from round number 3. Dave, is the party still pumping over there at Lifestyle Cycles? Is everybody still having a good time?
Absolutely. Everybody's having a great time. We've got well over 100 people outside just enjoying the racing. And what would you not enjoy about the racing this weekend? That has been incredible. Just a lot of bar-to-bar action. We've seen some great racing throughout today. Can't wait to see what we've got tomorrow, because it's going to be an epic weekend for the Bagger Racing League.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think the big things that stand out to me is the competition in 2025 has just come to another level. It's not even necessarily just the new faces. It seems like riders that we had last year have figured some things out, whether they've gotten new support or just dialed in those bikes. It really seems like we have the best out of all of our athletes here in 2025. Let's give you a quick replay as to how things went today for round number 3. Our Alpine Stars race replay here for day 1, round number 3. We had some close calls, a little bit of slideway action, some battles back and forth, some passes and pass backs, some crashes as well. Some new names popping up, some mechanical issues that got resolved before the end of the day, some new bikes getting broken out on track as well. And that's what I mean. It's love all the way around here at the racetrack. We had the wheelies. We had the riders hard on the throttle. The polka dots were flying, taking the win. And, of course, a great turnout. That's what I keep seeing is full grids after full grids. So many people falling in love with this sport, falling in love with what Bagger Racing League is turning into, and it is so easy to see why. And as if that's not exciting enough, guess what, folks? We get to do it all over again tomorrow. Cody Gilmore trying to stay on top, as is Jake Masters, and the rest of the field. Of course, those incredible trophies as well. Everybody wanting to get their hands on that. And here is what we have coming up. So tomorrow, just like we said, 12 p.m. Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we will have BRL round number 4 right back here in Hastings, Nebraska, Motorsports Park, Hastings. And then rounds 5 and 6, that's going to be June 28th and 29th out in South Haven, Michigan. Same time, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time out locally there in Michigan. And then our BRL finale out at round 6, September 20th in Las Vegas. And we'll give you guys all of the time information for that Racer TV broadcast a little later in the year. We got to hand out some humongous thank yous as well to all of our friends over at RacerTV.com, as well as our friends at AG Video. Our executive producer, Carrie Jo Russell. Our operations producer, still OPAG, Adam Gordon. Our producer, Don Hampton, the man in our ears. Our director, Jack Renner. Our engineer in charge, Jordan McFadden. All of our camera operators, Mark Hant, Jared Nelson, Matt Urbanski, Bryce Liska, Jake Wren, and Adam Atkins. Our drone pilot, Gabe Scholl. And for Dave Hollywood Dildine, I'm Zach Herron. We'll see you guys tomorrow for round 4 of the 2025 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers, presented by Memphis Shades. We'll see you tomorrow.